Chapter 2557. Tyrannical Majestic Ghost Punches Fifth Move Godly Connection. Ancient Fiend Aldrich's body emanated a terrifying murderous aura, as massive powers of hell surged out from the depths of his body. It seemed to communicate with the void that spanned thousands of light years. Dong! It punched out, and at this moment, the void around it exploded. Countless laws of hell gathered on its fist, and it seemed as though the shadow of a demon god was born behind it, emitting boundless pressure. It was as though the punch had communicated with an ancient demonic god. It contained the domineering laws of creation, and was filled with the rich aura of creation. Wherever it went, all matter was corroded and changed by the aura of creation. Instantly, the void that spanned thousands of light years seemed to shatter. It was as though a demonic god had come crashing down, blanketing the sky and earth, leaving no blind spots. Oh! Xiaoping felt that his aura had been locked on by the punch. It was as though he was being stared at by an ancient demonic god, as the nomological powers of the void came crashing down on him from all directions. It was as though all the surrounding void laws were his enemies at that moment. They came crashing down on him, leaving him with nowhere to hide. It was as though he was a pitiful worm that had been targeted by a demonic god. It was as though his body and soul were about to explode in the next second. Clearly, Ancient Fiend Aldrich was completely enraged. He had ignited his bloodline and delivered an attack that was 10 times stronger than his original strength, causing the punch to surpass everything. There was nowhere to hide as it ignored space and locked onto his aura. In order to kill him, Ancient Fiend Aldrich was willing to burn his own soul and lose his soul source. It was imaginable how much hatred Ancient Fiend Aldrich had for him. He hated him to the bone and wanted to get rid of him as soon as possible. However, Xiaoping's expression was extremely calm. He was unmoved. Primordial Heavenly Dragon Talisman. With a whoosh, Xiaoping reached out and immediately took out a peerless sacred artifact, the Primordial Heavenly Dragon Talisman. After the trip to the Dragon World, the Primordial Heavenly Dragon Talisman had been restored to its primordial glory. All its powers had been restored, although it had not reached its peak. It was not something an ordinary peerless sacred artifact could compare with. Rumble. Immediately, 3,000 Primordial Heavenly Dragon Talismans appeared at the same time, seemingly converging to form a gigantic Primordial Heavenly Dragon. It spanned thousands of light years. Its body was massive, and it emitted a terrifying dragon might that suppressed the universe. It was as though no nomological force could leave a mark on the primordial sky dragon. Its massive body itself was a vast world, the primordial dragon world. Dong! Vaguely, the primordial sky dragon's roar seemed to resound through the 3 realms. The void in a radius of tens of thousands of light years began to boil, causing the eardrums of many demons to hurt as they cried out tragically. One by one, the evil demons coughed up blood. At the same time, a phantom of the primordial dragon realm descended from its body, crushing the void. This strike seemed to be the divine ability of 3,000 primordial celestial dragons at the same time, and it was earth-shattering. What? Ancient Fiend Aldrich was incomparably shocked. It never thought that this damned burning demon would have such a trump card, and such a terrifying treasure. It caught it off guard. At this moment, its fine hairs stood on end, as if it could feel a fatal killing intent, as well as a boundless might that seemed impossible to resist. Rumble, the 2 forces collided, and the surrounding void was destroyed. It was as if a star had exploded. The surrounding void laws were completely destroyed and turned into primal chaos. Even the demon god was completely crushed by the power of the primordial dragon realm and exploded on the spot. Ah! Ancient Fiend Aldrich let out a shrill cry, because the power that came from the primordial sky dragon was indomitable. It penetrated its body like a beam of light tearing through the void. Its massive body was instantly sent flying, drenched in blood. If not for the fact that it was an ancient fiend that had comprehended the creation laws, making its body much stronger than ordinary demons, it would have been killed by that strike. Oh, it's not dead. Xiaoping pricked up his brows. He was a little surprised that Ancient Fiend Aldrich had not been killed by the primordial sky dragon talisman's strike. From the looks of it, the ancient fiends of hell were much stronger than the ancient sages of the modern universe. Just their physique alone was much stronger than ordinary sages. Even the divine beast race might not be able to match the fiends. After all, these fiends grew up in an environment of constant slaughter. They encountered endless attacks and lived in extremely harsh environments. If they did not have a strong physique, they would have long perished. But it doesn't matter. If I can't kill it in one strike, I'll just have to deliver a second strike. Xia Ping conjured the primordial sky dragon talisman, hoping to activate this peerless Dao artifact to kill ancient fiend Aldrich once and for all. Damn it! This bastard actually has such a powerful demonic artifact on him. Where did he get it from? Ancient fiend Aldrich was so jealous that his intestines turned green. In the world of hell, it was extremely rare to have a demonic artifact. After all, fiends did not produce and only knew how to destroy. It was difficult for them to create something like a Dharma treasure. It could be said that their bodies were the strongest Dharma treasures. Chapter 2558. Xia Ping squinted his eyes. He immediately realized that he was enveloped in a hell fiend formation that was filled with boundless bloodlust. It was as if he was surrounded by the bloodlust mist. Moreover, the bloodlust mist was extremely corrosive, as if it had a life of its own. It instantly enveloped his flesh and attempted to corrode his entire body. At the same time, demons formed from blood emerged from the depths of the void in the formation. There were at least billions of them, and they seemed to be emitting an indestructible aura. Are these blood demons? Xia Ping raised his eyebrows. He had stayed in hell for a long time, so he naturally recognized what they were. They were the famous blood demons. These blood demons seemed to have been formed from the bloodlust land. As long as the sea of blood was not destroyed, these blood demons would not die. There was simply an endless number of them. Moreover, every blood demon was highly corrosive. If one were to accidentally get a wound on one's body, the blood demons would invade one's body and take over one's body. It was almost impossible to get rid of them. It could be said that the blood demon's existence caused many evil demons' expressions to change, and they were terrified. Interesting. He wants to use this formation and the power of the blood demons to deplete my magic power. Xia Ping immediately saw through the ancient demon Aldrich's plan. He was trying to use this formation to suppress him and deplete his magic power with a large number of blood demons. As long as his magic power was depleted, he would be like a turtle in a jar and would not be able to resist. One had to admit that the ancient demon Aldrich had a good plan. However, the ancient demon Aldrich was too naive to think that he could hurt him with such a small trick. At that thought, Xia Ping made his move. Come out, Tree of World. Whoosh! In an instant, he communicated with the Tree of World in the depths of his consciousness. To the Tree of World, these blood demons, and other evil creatures were simply top-notch fertilizers. It could be said that using the Tree of World to deal with these demons was the best method. Everything had its vanquisher. Rumble at that instant. The figure of the Tree of World appeared in the void. Its huge body instantly covered a radius of tens of thousands of light years. One after another, the roots of the world tree permeated the void, seemingly turning the void into a world cage. All the space-time laws froze at this moment. The leaves on its branches also gently swayed, releasing boundless vitality. There were also densely packed world runes that were immeasurably deep, containing the aura of world laws. Beams of dazzling green light pierced through the void. It was as if the area enveloped by the world tree's domain had completely become the domain of the world tree. Luna's expression turned serious. Even though she knew that this holy tree belonged to her master, she could feel how terrifying it was. It seemed to be more demonic than her, and could devour everything. Damn it, what is this thing? I'm not sure. Could it be a demonic tree in hell? That's impossible. This is a low-level hellish plane. How could a demonic tree appear here? Bastard! Does this burning fiend control a demonic hell tree? It's over. We've been tricked. This bastard pretends to be weak, but he's already found a backer in the dark. His goal is to kill us all and turn us into nourishment for the demonic tree. Quick run. We can't stay here and wait for death. Many demons saw the appearance of the world tree and were all scared out of their wits. The appearance of the tree instantly shattered their blood fiend mystic fiend formation. One after another, the roots tore through the void, tearing the blood fiend mystic fiend formation that they had painstakingly laid down into pieces. One could imagine how terrified they were at this moment. Devour. Xiaoping did not care about the demon's fear. He channeled the powers in his body and communicated with the will of the world tree. Rumble. In an instant, the world tree trembled. Thousands of roots of the world tree penetrated the void, as if they had turned into spears of hell, piercing through everything. The area within the domain seemed to have become the hunting ground of the world tree. Dong dong dong. Suddenly, these demons were caught off guard and could not defend themselves. The roots attacked and easily pierced through their bodies. Just the slightest bit of devouring power was enough to instantly suck these demons dry. All of their essence, energy and spirit were sucked clean, and their entire bodies turned into ashes. With just one strike, tens of thousands of evil demons perished and turned into ashes. Whoosh! The world tree trembled slightly and seemed to have grown taller. Circles of strange patterns of the laws of heaven and earth appeared on its leaves and trunk. Fruits of heaven and earth naturally formed on its branches. These were the exotic fruits that were born after devouring these demons. They emitted waves of fragrance. It was obvious that while Xiaoping's cultivation was improving rapidly, the world tree was also growing rapidly. One could say that the growth of the world tree was inextricably linked to Xiaoping. It could be said that they complemented each other. Run! Seeing this, the ancient demon Aldrich was scared out of its wits. How could it not know that it had kicked an iron plate? This bastard was not a young demon. He was a cunning and shameless bastard. Previously, he had pretended to be very weak to attract the ancient demon Aldrich to attack him. Little did it know that this bastard burning demon had already found a tyrannical guardian, a powerful existence that could protect it. However, this bastard did not show it, luring it into a trap. In the end, it foolishly fell into this shameless demon's trap. There was no doubt that the burning demon was clearly pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger. It wanted to find fertilizer for the demonic tree. In fact, it was normal to have a guardian. After all, there were all kinds of creatures in hell. There were powerful demons who coveted the demon god's bloodline and tried to devour it. There were also powerful demons who knew their own limits and wanted to become friends with demons who had the demon god's bloodline when they grew up. They would protect such demons with extraordinary talents and would naturally become the most loyal supporters of such demons. In the end, such a guardian would also follow the demon god and obtain great benefits. It was like when a person achieved the Tao, his chickens and dogs would ascend to heaven. Clearly, this terrifying demonic tree was such a protector. If it had known this, it would not have come to this place to find trouble with the burning demon. Want to escape? Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. How could he not know that the ancient demon Aldrich wanted to escape? Naturally, he would not let the culprit escape. He used his magic power and pointed at the void. Supreme magical power, Karma Finger. To be honest, they had also heard that demons with the bloodline of the demon god were all supreme beings, but they had not seen how powerful they were with their own eyes. Now they truly felt how terrifying a demon with the demon god's bloodline was. Ancient demon Aldrich was a powerful demon with a thick bloodline. But against this burning devil, he was killed like a chicken, unable to resist at all. When they sensed Xiaoping's demonic aura, they immediately lost the confidence to resist. After all, even the ancient demon Aldrich was killed by him with a single finger. How could they, the ancient demons, escape? Not to mention the fact that there was still a demonic tree eyeing them covetously. They probably wouldn't be able to escape even if they wanted to. Right now they had no chance of winning at all. Surrender or die. Choose. Xiaoping stood with his hands behind his back, looking at these demons indifferently. His body emitted an endless pressure, giving these demons two choices. Either surrender or die. To be honest, he could also kill all these demons and refine them into exotic fruits. But for now, he didn't lack these fruits. What he lacked now were powerful and sufficient demon subordinates to protect the burning hell. After all, the burning hell couldn't be protected by him alone. It needed many powerful demons to guard it. Only then could it be considered as the embryonic form of a superpower. And these demons were originally ancient demon Aldrich's subordinates, so they were very suitable to be the guardians of the burning hell. After all, even in a world like hell, it was extremely difficult to grow into a late ancient demon or middle ancient demon. It would take a long time. If he were to kill these demons, he didn't know how long it would take to nurture them. It was too time-consuming, so he might as well just pick them up. We surrender. We surrender. We are willing to serve Lord Burning Devil as our master. Since Lord Burning Devil killed Aldrich, then Lord Burning Devil is our master. Hearing this, not only did these demons not get angry, but they were also overjoyed. In hell, the only rule was that the strong were respected. Recognizing the strong as master was a very normal thing. If they could serve Aldrich as their master, they could naturally serve Xiaoping as well. Not to mention, the most powerful demons in hell were undoubtedly demons with the demon god's bloodline. To be able to submit to a powerful demon with such a precious bloodline was the dream of countless demons. Most of the time, they couldn't find such an opportunity. After all, those demon overlords with the demon god's bloodline simply looked down on them. There were many demons in hell who wanted to submit to such demon overlords, and the queue was long. At this moment, Xiaoping actually wanted to subdue them and make them his subordinates. How could they not agree? Very good. Xiaoping was very satisfied. Chapter 2560. Burning Hell, Feudal Lord's Mansion, a quiet room. It had been several days since the primordial demon Aldrich had invaded the burning hell. All the demons from the Hell of Carlos had fused with the burning hell. These demons from the Hell of Carlos had also fused with the burning hell. This had greatly increased the strength of the burning hell. The burning hell's battle prowess was now comparable to that of a medium-level hellish plane. However, Xiaoping didn't care about these things. He left it to Luna to handle. Right now, he was quietly cultivating in a quiet room in the feudal lord's mansion. He sat down cross-legged on the ground and revolved the magic power in his body, revolving it 108 times. Then he took out a fruit of creation. This was the fruit he obtained from refining the ancient demon Aldrich. It contained a tremendous amount of energy. Without saying anything, Xiaoping swallowed the fruit of creation. He had long since gotten used to this. Rumble. The moment the fruit of creation entered Xiaoping's body, it melted the moment it entered his mouth. It was quickly refined by the solar furnace in his body, turning into the purest source energy of hell. Especially the creation chi within the fruit of creation. It seemed to flow into Xiaoping's limbs and bones, as well as every single cell. It seemed to be undergoing the most subtle and most fundamental changes. Creation chi like this was extremely beneficial to sages. It could greatly strengthen the source energy of the universe. Countless sages would desire to get their hands on it. What a huge amount of energy. Is this the fruit of creation created by the primordial demon? Xiaoping's eyes shone brightly. He could sense that the energy contained within this fruit of creation was far greater than any other sage medicine or treasure he had ever consumed before. Even the ocean wouldn't be able to describe the vastness of the source energy. Even with the strength of his body, he felt a little bloated. Actually, this was to be expected. Aldrich was a primordial demon, and one with an extremely thick bloodline at that. Therefore, the source energy within its body far surpassed that of ordinary sages. In fact, even sages of the same level from the god-beast race couldn't compare to it. Moreover, it had evolved to the immemorial ancient realm and cultivated for billions of years. Every single cell in its body was filled with the power of creation. One could only imagine how terrifying the fruit of creation would be if it was refined from its remains. It could be said that even a single piece of flesh from Aldrich's body could bring an ordinary person back to life and ascend to an unparalleled state. Of course, because the ancient demon's body contained the power of hell, as well as the demonic energy of hell, it was impossible for ordinary people to consume it. If they were to eat it rashly, they would be assimilated into a hellish creature. Only a special life form like Xiaoping could easily refine it and not be affected by the power of hell. Crash! After Xiaoping swallowed the fruit of creation, He felt that even though he had 9 violet kingdom spaces that could contain a huge amount of origin energy, at this moment, he felt like he was about to explode from this energy. His cultivation base had already reached the peak of the Middle Ancient Realm, and he was only one step away from the Late Middle Ancient Realm. Now that he had consumed the fruit of creation, his cultivation base had reached the peak of the Middle Ancient Realm. This was like a foot in the door, instantly breaking through the bottleneck. Dong! In the next second his body shook. It was as if a door in the depths of his sea of consciousness had been opened. All the space in his purple mansion expanded crazily toward the depths of chaos, and kept expanding. Late Middle Ancient Realm. Xiaoping's eyes lit up. He knew that he had finally broken through, and reached the Late Middle Ancient Realm, with the help of the huge amount of origin energy from the fruit of creation. Although it was only a small step, it was a huge improvement. Firstly, his magic power was at least 2/3 stronger than the Middle Ancient Realm. His 9 violet kingdom spaces had expanded, and the amount of magic power they could contain was simply terrifying. It was not just the violet kingdom spaces that had expanded. He felt that every cell in his body had expanded, and there were many more fragments of the law of space fragments. Dong! Xiaoping clenched his fist and punched the void lightly. He did not use much power, but the void in front of him instantly exploded, and a black hole was punched through by his fist. At this moment, even if he relied on his own brute force and magic power, he could still punch through the void without using the law of space and time in his body. This was a sign that his magic power had reached a certain level. Secondly, the power of his consciousness. Previously, his consciousness could only cover 20,000 light years, but now it had doubled, reaching a distance of 40,000 light years. His soul power was even more terrifying. Even the saints at the peak of the ancient times could not compare to his soul power. Moreover, his soul was also extremely strong and condensed. Spread. Xiaoping sat cross-legged on the ground and immersed his soul in his mind. The waves of his soul spread out in all directions, covering a distance of 40,000 light years. He felt that as his soul power grew stronger, his comprehension of the law of the origin of the universe became faster. Every strand of soul power could permeate the void and be everywhere. If he used soul secret skills, the power would probably double, and he would be able to kill without leaving a trace. Whoosh! After advancing to the Late Middle Ancient Realm, his soul had become stronger, and there were many more fragments of the law of time in the depths of his sea of consciousness. There were at least a few hundred fragments of the law of time. It seemed that he was close to gathering 3,000 fragments of the law of time and condensing the complete law of time. At that time, he would have the chance to step into the realm of the ancient saints and master the law of creation. Once he mastered the power of creation and condensed the chi of creation in his body, his strength would soar again. At that time, he would be like the creator of the world, able to create many objects at will. The power of the law of creation would definitely be beyond his imagination. The infernal golden crow bloodline has also increased. Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. Benefiting from the source energy of hell in this ancient demon's body, the infernal golden crow cells in his body were awakening crazily, and the power of his bloodline was increasing crazily. Now he had awakened 100 billion infernal golden crow cells. In addition to the 500 billion that he had awakened previously, it could be said that he now had 600 billion infernal golden crow cells in his body. He was not far from 1 trillion. Feeling the surging of the bloodline in his body, it was as if wisps of the infernal golden crow's divinity were spreading out. The terrifying power of the infernal golden crow spread in the depths of his body, emitting endless heat. At that moment, it was as if there were many suns burning in his body. If it was not for his skin and the many powers of the law of creation isolating him, the eruption of such heat would probably burn all the demons in the burning hell to ashes. Even the various infernal golden crow bloodline abilities in his body were endlessly increasing, especially the power of the Nether God Curse. He felt that his control over the Nether God Curse had deepened. He could easily sense the emotions of the Abyss Devils and Nether Ghosts implanted with the Nether God Curse. He could even control them. Apart from that, The other infernal Golden Crow abilities had also been strengthened to varying degrees. Chapter 2561. A month later, a black spaceship flew toward the Hell of Karloth. Xiaoping, Luna, and many of Aldrich's demons were also on this spaceship. This spaceship was originally destroyed by Xiaoping, but he repaired it and could still continue to travel. After a month of cultivation, he'd completely stabilized his cultivation base in the late Middle Ancient realm. He'd mastered his power to the acme of perfection. Therefore, he chose to come out of seclusion, the Hell of Karloth. Xiaoping stood on the deck of the spaceship, looking at the distant void. The reason he'd left the burning hell with so many demons was because he wanted to get to the Hell of Karloth. He wanted to conquer the entire Hell of Karloth, devour the essence of this medium hell plane, and upgrade the burning hell to a medium hell plane. This way, he would be able to obtain a large amount of hell's essence energy, and his cultivation base would definitely advance by leaps and bounds. His Golden Crow of Hell bloodline would also improve tremendously. In any case, his plan to conquer the Hell of Karloth was imperative. It was a great opportunity for him to improve his cultivation base quickly. Tell me more about the Hell of Karloth. Xiaoping stood with his hands clasped behind his back, looking at one of the demons. Yes, my lord, the demon said respectfully. The Hell of Karloth is one of the more powerful mid-level hellish planes. There are 13 ancient fiend-level lords in this plane, and they're all lords of the hellish plane. It's at least 10,000 times larger than the burning hell. It's vast and boundless, home to countless hellish demons and hellish nether ghosts. Hell's essence is extremely dense. Aldrich, who was killed by my lord, was one of the 13 lords. The territory he occupies is neither too big nor too small. It's a medium hell with billions of demons under his command. However, in order to ensure that nothing goes wrong, Aldrich let us elites out of our lair. Basically, all of Aldrich's elite demons are here. It explained what it knew in detail. What about the greater hellish plane? Do you know where they are? Xiaoping asked. The closest high-level hell plane to the Hell of Karloth is the Hell of Green Lotus, the demon said. The Hell of Green Lotus controls 3 million mid-grade hellish planes, including the Hell of Kalos. The high hell plane was much more powerful than the medium hell plane. In the high hell plane, ancient demons were nothing more than high-level thugs, while immemorial demons could barely be considered high-level cadres. Only invincible realm demons could become lords. If medieval fiends like us were to enter a higher plane of hell, we would be nothing more than ants or cannon fodder. We wouldn't even be worth mentioning. But even so, because the benefits of higher hells are too great for demons to evolve, countless demons try to enter and live in higher hells. So that's how it is, Xiaoping said, raising his eyebrows. If that's the case, why didn't the 13 primeval fiends of the Hell of Karloth enter the Hell of Green Lotus? As the saying goes, it is better to be the head of a chicken than the tail of an ox. The ancient fiend said. Ancient fiends can already become overlords in mid-level hells. But in high-level hells, they're nothing more than high-level thugs. The difference is too great. That's why Aldrich and the rest of the primeval fiends aren't willing to submit to the rule of the stronger demons. That's why they came to the mid-level hells to act like tyrants. Of course, if they're really talented, they'll naturally join the higher hells. That way, they'll evolve much faster than the mid-level hells. The problem is Aldrich and the rest of the primeval fiends have exhausted all of their potential. If they don't come across any special opportunities, they'll probably be stuck at the immemorial ancient realm for the rest of their lives. This was exactly what Aldrich and the rest of the primeval fiends were thinking. If they had enough talent, they'd be able to live like fish in water in the higher hells. But if they didn't, they'd be nothing more than super thugs in the higher hells. In that case, they might as well stay in the mid-level hells and be overlords. At the very least, they'd be able to enjoy wealth, and wouldn't be bossed around by other high-level demons. So that's how it is. Xiaoping nodded, indicating that he understood what the demons were thinking. The primeval fiends thought that if they stayed in the mid-level hells, they'd still be lords. But once they entered the higher hells, they'd be invisible. They couldn't say anything to the crocodiles, and could only work in silence. How could the primeval fiends, who were used to being bosses, tolerate something like that. Add to that the fact that they'd exhausted all of their potential, and it wouldn't be the same no matter where they cultivated. In that case, they might as well stay in the mid-level hells. At the very least, they'd be able to enjoy wealth there, and wouldn't be bullied by the high-level demons. My lord, we're here. The Hell of Karloth is just ahead. At that moment, a mid-level demon pointed to the front. A huge hells that looked like an eggshell appeared in front of Xiaoping, emanating a thick aura of hells. It was like numerous evil dragons that surrounded the entire world. Even though he hadn't entered the Hell of Karloth yet, he could feel the richness of the Hell of Karloth's source energy. It was definitely not something the burning hell could compare to. It was no wonder that this hells had nurtured so many powerful demons. There were even 13 primeval fiends. Whoosh! Without a word, the black spaceship entered the Hell of Karloth and flew toward the residence of the ancient demon Aldrich. Before long, the black spaceship arrived above the territory of the ancient demon Aldrich. Xiaoping raised an eyebrow. He immediately saw smoke rising from all over the territory. There were signs of destruction everywhere, and there were sounds of fighting and killing. It seemed like there were countless demons fighting. Damn it, it's the ancient demon Caden sneaking into our territory. When one of the ancient demons saw this scene, his eyes widened and his anger exploded. Ancient demon Caden. Hearing this, Xiaoping raised an eyebrow. From the words of the mid-level demons, he knew that the ancient demon Caden was one of the 13 lords of the Hell of Karloth. And this Caden was the famous shadow demon. He seemed to be a terrifying demon born from the depths of the shadows. He was adept at manipulating the shadows of his enemies, and was the best assassin among the many demon lords. This was because many years ago, Aldrich and Caden had fought a war, and Caden had suffered a great loss. Since then, both sides had always been at odds with each other. Perhaps this time, Caden had taken advantage of Aldrich's absence to send troops to sneak into Aldrich's territory and loot it. Chapter 2562. This Caden is quite daring. He actually dares to invade my territory. Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. Ever since he had subdued Aldrich's demons, he had treated this territory, which used to be Aldrich's, as his own. Now that there were demons invading, it was obvious that they were robbing him of his treasures. This was something he could not tolerate. Of course, his purpose in coming to the Hell of Icarus was to kill the other 12 demon lords. Now that the shadow demon Caden had come to him, it was like a lamb walking into a tiger's mouth. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. A large number of shadow demons appeared in the territory. These were the elite subordinates of the ancient demon Caden. Using their innate magical powers, they blended into the darkness during the night. This way, the demons could not discover the whereabouts of these shadow demons at all. They were in a situation of being beaten up. The demons did not know what was going on. They were instantly killed by these shadow demons. Large amounts of treasures seemed to have been carried out by these shadow demons from all over the territory. Clearly, as the other ancient demons had expected, these shadow demons had somehow gotten the news that Aldrich had temporarily left the territory. After confirming it, they immediately attacked Aldrich's territory at night. They wanted to take advantage of Aldrich's absence to plunder the territory's treasures and make a fortune. By then, even if Aldrich returned to the territory, it would be useless. After all, with shadow demon Caden blocking them, Aldrich could not do anything. In fact, this was also Caden's idea. He wanted to use this opportunity to annoy Aldrich and take revenge. Kill them all. Kill all the demons invading the territory. Xiaoping ordered. Yes, Lord. Many demons roared angrily. They immediately left the spaceship and flew in all directions, rushing to fight with Shadow Mocaden's subordinates. With the Nether God curse and the erosion of the Golden Crow bloodline, these demons were at least 2/3 stronger than when they had left the Hell of Icarus. One could imagine that they had a huge advantage among demons of the same level. They could be said to be invincible. Dong dong dong. In a few breaths' time, a large number of shadow demons hiding in the darkness were captured and killed. They were simply no match for them. Damn, Aldrich's elite subordinates are back. How can they be back so quickly? Didn't you say that Aldrich had gone to a lower plane of hell that was far away and would take a long time to return? That spaceship is Aldrich's battleship. Even if it turns to ashes, I would still recognize it. Now that this spaceship has returned, there's no doubt that Aldrich will return. Damn it. I wanted to continue plundering. I didn't expect Aldrich to return so quickly. It seems there is no way to continue this war. Kaka, it doesn't matter. We've plundered too many treasures during this period of time, and we've simply struck it rich. This little bit of harvest is enough for us to cultivate for tens of thousands of years. Haha, we have to thank that idiot Aldrich. He actually left his territory all of a sudden, and even took a large number of elites with him. If this isn't a chance for us to get rich, what is? In the territory, many shadow devils laughed. Even if they knew that Aldrich had returned, they wouldn't be worried. After all, in terms of strength, they weren't inferior to elite demons like Aldrich. Even if they couldn't defeat them, they could escape at any time and couldn't be killed at all. Huh. Xiaoping narrowed his eyes and looked ahead. Just as these elite demons left the spaceship to stop the shadow devils from continuing to wreak havoc in the territory, a terrifying, abyss-like aura that formed a domain of creation emanated from afar, covering a radius of thousands of light years. A huge black figure emerged from the darkness. This darkness was like ink, so dense that it couldn't be dispersed. It was like sin. This black liquid quickly emerged from the darkness, and then transformed into the appearance of a huge black bat. At the same time, it let out a cackle. Aldrich, why are you so angry? This is just a grand ceremony. The little ones will leave when they're happy after plundering. You won't suffer too much loss. Of course, this is all your fault. After all, if you hadn't left your territory and left such a huge gap for us to take advantage of, this wouldn't have happened. So Aldrich learned from this lesson. In the future, don't leave your territory casually. Otherwise, you'll definitely suffer great losses. Do you understand? I, Kaden, am a good demon. I didn't expect to teach you such a useful lesson. You don't have to be too grateful to me, Kaden. It laughed extremely arrogantly and proudly. Kaden, you've angered me. Xiaoping used the invisible mask to transform into the appearance of ancient demon Aldrich. His aura was exactly the same. Even the demons beside him couldn't sense anything wrong, let alone other demons. He was expressionless as he calmly looked at the extremely arrogant shadow devil Kaden in front of the black spaceship. Angered you? Haha, I'm dying of laughter, Aldrich. I didn't expect you to be so arrogant after going out for a trip. Also, your jokes are getting better and better. Just one sentence almost made my stomach hurt. Shadow devil Kaden laughed out loud. He seemed to be holding his stomach and rolling in the air, as if he had heard the funniest joke in the world. To be honest, I'm angering you. So what if I've angered you? You're just a mere Aldrich. Do you think you can do anything to me with your strength? Bite me if you have the guts. It mocked Xiaoping unscrupulously and proudly. In fact, there was a reason why it was so arrogant. As a shadow devil, it was a special demon born from the depths of darkness. It was born to be able to blend into the depths of the shadows. It was a natural darkness killer that made countless demons tremble in fear. Moreover, its escaping skills were top-notch. With this innate ability, it was the strongest among the 13 demon overlords. No one could kill it. However, if it was targeted by Shadow Devil Kaden, then it would be very troublesome. Kaden would be watching him at all times, be it day or night, time or place. He would always look for the enemy's flaws until he killed the enemy. In fact, Kaden was a petty and vengeful devil. Therefore, not many demons were willing to offend Shadow Devil Kaden. This made Kaden even more arrogant and fearless. Kaden, you're so arrogant because of your innate ability. You think that no demon can kill you. However, I, Aldrich, am telling you that as long as I want to kill you, you'll die even if you escape to the ends of the earth. Not even the resurrection of a demon god can save you. Xiaoping instantly took out the reincarnation pen. He wanted to kill Shadow Devil Kaden instantly. He wouldn't give it any chance to escape. Chapter 2563. Boom! In an instant, Xiaoping held the reincarnation brush in his hand. He poured his enormous magical power into it, and the aura of reincarnation, the 6 paths, life and death, and karma filled the tip of the brush. It was as if the reincarnation brush was filled with countless runes of hell. These runes intertwined with each other and condensed into the great path of laws, like chains of order. What? Shadow Demon Caden's hair stood on end. His instincts as a primordial demon were warning him that this Aldrich was extraordinary, completely different from before. An aura of death permeated his soul, as if he was being stared at by the primordial god of the underworld. This was an unprecedented feeling, as if his soul was about to be taken away. Damn it, Aldrich, what did you get this time? Shadow Demon Caden's hair stood on end. He felt a great threat. He immediately sensed that Aldrich had undergone an earth-shattering change. He was many times more terrifying than before. Before, he could rely on his innate magical powers to be invincible in the hell of Icarus. No primordial demon could kill him. But now, it didn't know what kind of fortuitous encounter Aldrich had encountered. It actually made it feel as if there was a blade on its back, and it felt like it was about to die. He had never felt this way before, and he didn't think it was an illusion. Aldrich must have done something to make his sixth sense feel this way. Yin and Yang, myriad worlds of shadows. In an instant, Shadow Demon Caden used his innate magical powers without a word. In an instant, he turned into thousands of shadows that fled into the void in all directions. These shadows were Caden's clones, and they also contained a wisp of his soul origin. They could easily blend into time and space, and even primordial demons would have a hard time catching them. Among the thousands of clones, only one was the real one. The others were all fake. The problem was that the aura of each clone was exactly the same. Ordinary demons couldn't tell the difference at all. With this magical power, Shadow Demon Caden could do well even in the higher planes of hell. He had once been chased by primordial demons, but he could still escape unscathed. One could imagine that Shadow Demon Caden's life-saving ability was second to none in the hell of Icarus. His lordship ran away? When the other shadow demons saw this, they were all dumbfounded. They didn't expect this to happen at all. They hadn't even started fighting, and their overlord Caden actually used his escape god art first. What kind of joke was this? This kind of thing was simply unheard of. Since when did Aldrich make Caden so afraid of him that he didn't even dare to face him head-on, and didn't even have the courage to fight to the death? Reincarnation brush, capture the soul. Xiaoping didn't even look at him. The reincarnation brush in his hand blasted out. He didn't need to know where Shadow Devil Caden's true body was. This was a sure hit attack that followed the karmic lines. Even if Shadow Devil Caden fled to the ends of the earth, he would not be able to escape death. This was the power of the King of Hell. If the King of Hell wanted you dead at midnight, he wouldn't dare to keep you alive until the fifth. Boom! In the blink of an eye, a black ray of light shot out from the tip of the reincarnation brush. It contained the terrifying power of the law of reincarnation, and was filled with a destructive aura that could destroy everything. No. Shadow Devil Caden thought that he could finally escape with his life. Tens of thousands of doppelgangers fled at an extremely fast speed, crossing thousands of light years and leaving this territory. But at this moment, his hair stood on end, and his whole body trembled. A destructive power had actually targeted his soul, descending from the depths of the void. It was silent and extremely fast. It was like the wrath of heaven had locked onto his soul. There was nowhere to hide. Boom! This strange black ray of light instantly blasted onto Shadow Devil Caden's body. The terrifying power of the law of reincarnation instantly exploded, tearing his soul apart. With a bang, Shadow Devil Caden's body was instantly torn into 7 or 8 pieces. His soul couldn't withstand such a terrifying destructive aura, and was destroyed on the spot. Shadow Devil Caden dead. His huge body instantly emerged from the void and fell from the sky, smashing heavily into the ground. Blood flowed out of his 7 orifices, and his eyes were wide open. Clearly, he had died with grievances. The other shadow doppelgangers also dissipated and disappeared from this world because of Caden's death. When the many shadow devils saw this, their hair all stood on end. They couldn't believe it. They had never thought that Caden, who had dominated the hell of Icarus for countless years, would be killed by Aldrich. And with just a single strike, Caden had been killed like an ant being trampled to death. No way, Lord Caden is dead? He was killed by Aldrich with a single strike? What kind of joke is this? This can't be an illusion, right? Some demons were dumbfounded, not daring to believe their eyes. According to their understanding, Shadow Devil Caden couldn't be killed. He had the strongest life-saving ability among the 13 demon lords, and his true combat strength was also above Aldrich's. Usually, it was Aldrich who was being suppressed by Caden. But what was going on now? Just a single strike had killed Caden, as if he had crushed an ant. This was something they couldn't accept. No, it's not an illusion. I can sense that the soul contract with Lord Caden has disappeared. This proves that Lord Caden has fallen, killed by Aldrich. One of the shadow devils gulped. Chapter 2564. A few days later, the entire Carlos Hell was shaken. Aldrich returned and instantly killed the shadow fiend Caden. Caden's subordinates all surrendered, and Caden's territory also became Aldrich's. This achievement instantly shocked all the demons of the Carlos Hell. At this moment, Aldrich's territory, reputation, authority, and strength were at the top of all the demon overlords. He was vaguely known as the strongest demon of the Carlos Hell. This matter also greatly shocked the other demon overlords. Because of this, these demon overlords secretly gathered together and held a meeting. Damn it, what did Aldrich get this time? How did his strength increase by leaps and bounds? He could even kill Caden in an instant. A demon overlord had a gloomy expression. Originally, the 13 demon overlords occupied the Carlos Hell, and their strength was balanced. Even if there was some friction between them, there hadn't been a war for a long time. Even if their subordinates often fought and died, at least the demon overlords wouldn't die. They were always high and mighty eternal existences. Especially the shadow fiend Caden. He was known as the ancient demon, with the strongest life-saving ability. No one could kill him. But now Caden was dead. Moreover, he killed Caden in front of all the other demons with a single strike, making it impossible for Caden to escape. This fact terrified all the demon overlords. Because if Aldrich could kill a demon like Caden, then killing other demons wouldn't be difficult. I received information that Aldrich didn't break through, nor did he advance to the ancient demon realm. But he could kill Caden, because he seemed to have obtained a powerful magic tool. A goat-horned demon overlord said in a deep voice. A powerful magic tool? What kind of magic tool is so terrifying that it could even kill the shadow fiend Caden effortlessly? Many demon overlords were shocked. They naturally knew how powerful magic tools were. Even though they were demon overlords, they didn't have a powerful magic tool. Only demons from the high hell planes could have one. A powerful enough demonic chi was enough to make a demon display several times their strength. Thus, countless demons wanted a magic tool. The problem was that such magic tools were rare, and there weren't many even in the high hell planes. No matter how hard they tried, they couldn't get it. I don't know, it was only a glimpse. Aldrich's attack speed was too fast, and it was only one attack, so no demon saw what magic tool he used. The goat-horned demon overlord shook his head, indicating that he hadn't obtained any important information. Damn it! No wonder Aldrich led a large number of elites to leave this time. He didn't even want his lair. So it turns out he wanted a magic tool. Some of the bullhorn demons came to a sudden realization, and finally understood why Aldrich had made such a decision. It had been mocking Aldrich's stupidity for allowing Caden to find an opening, causing the territory to suffer heavy losses. But now, it seemed that it was the stupid one. As long as he obtained this magic tool, his strength would increase several times. What would his previous territory count for? With enough strength, his territory would keep expanding. Clearly, Aldrich had thought this through and made such a decision. Sure enough, Aldrich had succeeded and obtained that powerful magic tool. At the same time, he even killed his archenemy, Caden, and even took over all of Caden's territories, expanding his forces by several times. Now Aldrich was the strongest demon in the Icarus Hell, as well as the strongest force. We can't let Aldrich do whatever he wants. The goat-horned demon overlord's eyes flashed with a cold light. By relying on that powerful magic tool, he can completely destroy us one by one and kill the remaining 11 demon overlords. At that time, the entire Icarus Hell will be his territory. If we don't surrender, we will die. Do you want to see that happen? He swept a glance at the surrounding demon overlords. Of course not. The problem is that we don't know how powerful that magic tool is. If it can kill Caden in one attack, then can it kill all 11 of us in one attack? Another three-eyed demon overlord said. This is impossible. What magic tool could be so powerful? The bullhorn demon overlord said hesitantly. Haha, how do you know it's impossible? Do you know how terrifying a truly tyrannical magic tool is? There are magic tools that can tear apart a high hell plane in one attack. What's so strange about a magic tool that can instantly kill us? The three-eyed demon overlord sneered. Even if that magic tool can't kill all of us, it can easily kill 7 or 8 of us. Which one of you is willing to throw away your lives and stop Aldrich? The demon overlords were speechless. They were all selfish demons. If Aldrich was really that powerful, then they naturally wouldn't fight to the death. They could just leave the Icarus Hell and go to other medium hell planes. After all, the infernal realm was too big. There was no need to fight to the death in this place. With the power of the ancient demons, they could do well no matter where they went. The problem now was Aldrich really so powerful that he could kill the ancient demons? This was also the crux of their decision. Kiki, you don't need to worry too much about this. I naturally have a way to deal with this thorny Aldrich. At this moment, one of the demon overlords spoke up. The other demon overlords looked over and immediately realized that this was the #1 demon overlord of the Icarus Hell. He was the oldest demon overlord of the Icarus Hell, Poison Fiend Vasily. His strength had reached the peak of the primordial era. Before Aldrich had gone berserk, Poison Fiend Vasily had been the #1 demon overlord. Chapter 2565. Several days later. Aldrich's infernal territory. Interesting. The other lords of hell know that I killed Shadow Fiend Caden, but they don't seem to have any reaction. What are they planning? Xiaoping touched his chin. He knew that if he personally killed Shadow Demon Caden and this demon overlord, it would definitely affect the fear of the other overlords, and he might even be attacked by the other 11 overlords. That was his goal too. He wanted to lure the snake out of its hole and have the fiend lords attack him. That way, he could kill them all in one fell swoop and unify the Hell of Kairos. However, the Hell of Kairos had been very peaceful these few days, as though nothing had happened. That made him feel a little strange. Master, there's no need to care about what the fiend lords are thinking. Let's just kill them all. Luna put forward her suggestion, which was to crush them all the way and wipe out the demon overlords like a thunderbolt. There's no rush. Don't underestimate these demon lords. They've lived for so many years. They'll definitely have some trump cards up their sleeves. Besides, the Hell of Kairos is a subsidiary plane of the Hell of Green Lotus. It's hard to guarantee that the demon lords of the Hell of Kairos aren't related to the Hell of Green Lotus. Xiaoping was very confident in his own strength, but he wouldn't be too reckless. If he acted rashly, he might provoke some unexpected big shots. Besides, he wasn't in a hurry to unify the Hell of Kairos. It wouldn't be too late to act after he had a thorough understanding of this place. As the saying went, sharpening the knife pays off. Boom! At that moment, a space-time black hole was torn open in the sky above the territory. Then, one figure after another walked out of the black hole, emanating the aura of immemorial ancient, shaking the entire territory. All the demons trembled when they felt the aura, as though gods had descended. 11 fiend lords are coming at the same time? Xiaoping raised his eyebrows. He didn't expect the other 11 fiend lords to arrive at the same time. No, that's not right. Not only 11 fiend lords. There's an even more terrifying demon that seems to have reached the immemorial ancient realm. At this thought he narrowed his eyes, his expression a little solemn. Could it be that in order to deal with me, this group of demon overlords paid a huge price and invited a primordial demon to deal with me? However, these fiend overlords and the mysterious primordial fiend didn't seem to have much killing intent. However, this thought only lasted for a moment. Whoosh! Thinking of this, Xiaoping's figure flashed, and he flew out of the mansion, arrived in the air, and faced these demon lords from afar. Vasily, you actually joined forces against me, and even invited a helper. Could it be that you want to kill me, Aldrich? Xia Ping clasped his hands behind his back as he stared at the fiend overlords. He was bold and skilled. Even if he encountered an ancient demon-level master, he wouldn't feel the slightest bit of fear. Now he had many methods at his disposal. Even if he couldn't defeat this ancient demon, he could still escape. At most, he would have to give up on the hell of Karloth and search for other hellish planes. Impudent! Poison Demon vastly shouted angrily. This is the emissary of the Green Lotus Hell, Lord Jialik. What kind of attitude is this? How dare you speak to the great emissary like this? And even ask him to kneel and apologize. Do you believe that if the emissary gets angry and kills you, no demon will dare to stand up for you? He bared his fangs and revealed a look of a dog relying on its master's power. The emissary of the Green Lotus Hell? Xia Ping raised his eyebrows. Although he had already expected this, he didn't expect this ancient demon to actually come from a high-level hellish plane. No wonder it was so strong. A demon of this level indeed couldn't be born from a hellish plane. All right. As the saying goes, the ignorant are innocent. The ancient demon Jialik waved his hand. This kid doesn't know my identity. It's pardonable for him to say such things. You don't have to be too harsh on him. Lord Jialik is magnanimous and benevolent. If it were any other demon, I'm afraid they would have already chopped off the head of an arrogant demon like Aldrich. Why would they let him continue to live? Poison Demon vastly revealed a look of flattery. At the same time, he didn't forget to insult Xia Ping. The ancient demon Jialik ignored Vastly's flattery. He looked at Xia Ping and said, Aldrich, I heard that you volunteered to join the Green Lotus Hell's expedition team to explore the demon god's ruins. Your courage is commendable. You're really not bad. There are very few demons as brave as you in the many hellish planes. The other demon overlords looked at Xia Ping treacherously, as if they were taking pleasure in his misfortune. The demon god's ruins. Xia Ping narrowed his eyes, although he didn't know what it was. Based on the ancient demon's words and the expressions of the other demon overlords, he knew that the so-called demon god's ruins were definitely a place of death. Otherwise, this ancient demon wouldn't have said that he wanted to join. Even if his courage was commendable, although he didn't know what had happened, he was definitely tricked by the other 11 demon overlords. Aldrich, I really didn't expect you to be so brave. You're willing to give up the glory and wealth of the Hell of Icarus to join this expedition team and contribute to the Green Lotus Hell. I really admire you. Indeed, there are very few demons I admire in my life. Aldrich, you're the first. Of course, as a demon, you absolutely can't go back on your word. If you agree to go, but go back on your word at a critical moment, I'm afraid that's not very appropriate. Of course, Aldrich won't do that. Chapter 2566. Of course I'm willing. Xia Ping smiled. But I'm not the only one going into the demon god's ruins. Don't you all have the same wish? We all feel that we've been stuck in the immemorial ancient realm for too long. So we want to enter the demon god's ruins to look for opportunities to break through. That's why we made this decision to advance and retreat together and take risks together. Oh, there's such a thing. I didn't expect all of you to want to enter the demon god's ruins. That's great. Looks like the Hell of Icarus has produced some courageous demon lords. Hearing this, the primordial demon Jarlik's eyes lit up. Originally, he thought he could only trick one demon lord, but now he could trick 12 demon lords. He had a mission to find cannon fodder from the Green Lotus Hell. If he didn't have enough people, he would be severely punished by the higher-ups. Now if it could bring back 12 ancient demon lords at once, then its mission would be completed in one go. And it might even be completed in excess. It would definitely be rewarded by its superiors. No. Hearing this, Vastly and the other demon lords' faces turned green. How could they have expected Aldrich to be so shameless? He actually wanted to drag them down with him and die with him. Who didn't know that entering the demon god ruins was a matter of 9 out of 10 chances of survival? It was true that one could obtain a lucky chance to make a breakthrough, but it was extremely rare. Most of the abyssals died without a complete corpse. Even if they got the opportunity, they had to be alive to enjoy it. But Xia Ping wouldn't give them a chance to speak. He said, "The 11 of you actually came together. Looks like you've all made up your minds to explore the demon god's ruins together. Of course, don't go back on your words. Otherwise, if you anger Lord Jarlek, you'll have to bear the consequences. The emissary's knife isn't fast enough. He looked at Vasily and the other demon lords with a smile. What? The faces of Vasily and the other demon lords turned green as well. They wanted nothing more than to eat this slut alive. It was one thing for her to die, but she wanted to drag them down with her. How sinister was she? She just couldn't bear to see others do well. Moreover, he was even using their words to shut their mouths. This was truly despicable and shameless to the extreme. When did Aldrich become so despicable? If it wasn't for the fact that Jarlo was here, they would have attacked instantly and beaten this bastard up. They wanted to see if this bastard would still dare to say such words and drag them down with him. Yes, you're right. If you go back on your word, you'll be forcing me to flip out. If you make me angry, you'll be slapping the hell of the Blue Lotus in the face. The consequences of that will be very serious. The immemorial demon Jyalek put on a stern face and surged with murderous intent. He expressed that he was narrow-minded and would never be fooled by other demons. Otherwise, he would definitely fight to the death. In fact, how could it not see the conflict between Xia Ping and the other demon lords? This matter must have been a joint effort by the other 11 demons to scam this kid. Because it needed to complete the mission, it naturally needed to push the boat along and catch as many as it could. But now, this group of demon overlords was actually having internal strife, and it even found a reason to trick the 12 demon overlords. How could it miss this opportunity? After all, such an opportunity was delivered to its doorstep. There was no reason for it to miss it. Not only were the faces of Vasily and the others green, but they were also very black, like charcoal. If looks could kill, Xia Ping would have been killed 1,000 times over. They were now regretting it so much that their intestines turned green. They only wished that time could turn back, and this matter had never happened. Now, not only did they fail to trick this kid, but he even dragged them down with him, and dragged them to the demon god's ruins to die. This was simply courting death. If they knew this, they wouldn't have said such an excuse even if they were beaten to death. What else could it be other than giving others a handle over their heads? But now it was too late for regrets. Clearly, after the immemorial demon Jyalek found this reason, he would definitely not let them go. Faced with the innate suppression of the immemorial demon's strength, they were helpless and could only be eaten alive. All right, Lord Jyalek, we want to head to the demon god's ruins immediately and serve the hell of the Blue Lotus. Can we set off immediately? Xia Ping struck while the iron was hot, not giving the other demon lords a chance to back out. What? Hearing this, Vasily and the others almost couldn't help but rush forward and tear this bastard to pieces. This bastard couldn't even wait for a second, and wanted to drag them down with him. This damned slut, shameless bastard. Even if he wanted to die, he shouldn't drag them down with him. Didn't he know that one should not do to others what one did not want done to oneself? Oh, I didn't expect you to be so loyal to take the initiative to head to the demon god's ruins. Your courage is indeed praiseworthy. Then, as you said, we will set off immediately. Hearing this, the immemorial demon Jyalek was immediately delighted. This was also his idea. It was better to strike while the iron was hot and abduct all these demon lords. This was to prevent these demon lords from finding any excuse or opportunity to escape from this place. If that happened, wouldn't it be a waste of effort? It was better to quickly capture all these demon lords. Ahem, no, take them all away first. Once they entered the hell of the Blue Lotus, even if these demon lords wanted to run, they wouldn't be able to. Chapter 2567. Whoosh! A dark golden spaceship flew quickly towards the Green Lotus Hell. It was silent, as if it had merged with the void of hell. Even void monsters couldn't track it with their Dharma images. At this moment within the spaceship, there were 12 immemorial ancient demon overlords, including Xia Ping, as well as the ancient demon Jyalek, who were waiting on the spaceship. Ancient demon Jyalek was very pleased. He was sipping the Green Lotus red wine, a famous wine produced in the Green Lotus Hell. Obviously, he was in a good mood after completing his mission. Unfortunately, Vasily and the other 11 demon lords weren't in a good mood. Their faces were as black as charcoal, and they glared at Xiaoping, as if he had killed their fathers. If ancient demon Jialik wasn't here, they would have strangled this bastard to death. This bitch would continue to harm others and themselves here. Xiaoping's expression was very relaxed. In fact, he also wanted to see what kind of place the Green Lotus Hell was, and how many treasures were hidden there. If he could enter the Green Lotus Hell, or the Demon God's ruins, he would probably be able to obtain many treasures. He might even be able to speed up his cultivation. Therefore, even without this, he would still try his best to get to the Green Lotus Hell. Now an ancient demon from the Green Lotus Hell was leading him there. This was exactly what he wanted. It was also a plan he had wanted to carry out a long time ago. Of course, there were no demon lords or ancient demons in the Hell of Carlos now. It could be said that Luna was in charge now. When Xiaoping boarded the spaceship, he had already communicated with Luna telepathically, telling her to make use of this time, to wage war on other demon territories, and unify the Hell of Carlos as soon as possible. Therefore, when he returned from the Green Lotus Hell, the entire Hell of Carlos would probably be his. And he wouldn't let these 11 demon lords of the Hell of Carlos go back alive. Thinking of this, Xiaoping looked at ancient demon Jialik and asked, "Lord Jialik, may I know where the demon god's ruins are? What is in there? Why do so many big shots in the Hell of Carlos want to explore it? Of course, if there is any confidential information, just pretend I never asked." He looked curiously at the ancient demon Jialik. He was very curious, and wanted to know more about the demon god's ruins. There's no need to keep it a secret. In fact, when you arrive at the demonic god's ruins, you'll know the details. It's an open secret. It's just that you're not demons of the Hell of Green Lotus, so you won't know much. Since you've decided to join the exploration of the ruins, there's no harm in telling you in advance. The ancient demon Jialik was in a very good mood at the moment, so he didn't hide this news. Upon hearing this, Vasily and the other demon overlords pricked up their ears. Although they were unwilling and didn't want to explore the demon god's ruins, it was too late for them to escape now that they had been tricked by that bastard. They had no choice but to think about their own lives. Naturally, they wanted to know some key information. Sometimes information was the key to saving their lives. The demon god's ruins are actually in a great canyon in the Hell of Green Lotus. That place is called the Demon Forbidden Area. It's an absolute forbidden area for life within hundreds of thousands of light years. No demons, nether ghosts, and even void monsters dare to approach that place. It's extremely dangerous. The ancient demon Jialik said solemnly. It's said that some invincible realm demons entered the ruins, but they all disappeared without a trace. They died inside, and even their corpses couldn't be transported back. Upon hearing this, the faces of Vasily and the other demon overlords turned green. Damn, even invincible realm demons died in the ruins. Wouldn't they, the small shrimps of the ancient demons, be even more courting death? How was this an adventure? It was simply suicide. Since it's so dangerous, why do we still go in? Xiaoping asked. Naturally, there are great benefits. The ancient demon Jialik said matter-of-factly. Although there is a slim chance of survival in the demon god's ruins, there are too many benefits inside. It's said that there are inheritances left behind by the demon god, or skeletons left behind by the demon god, as well as powerful demon weapons, hell magic treasures, and so on. As long as you get one of them, your strength will immediately increase by leaps and bounds. In fact, in the recent billions of eras, there have been many powerful demons who entered the demon god's ruins and obtained great opportunities. From there, they stepped into the invincible realm and became invincible. So, don't think that this adventure in the ruins is a slim chance of survival. In fact, if you're lucky, you might immediately soar into the sky and become a great figure that even I can't reach. Keep bragging. Vasily and the other demon overlords looked at the ancient demon Jialik with contempt. If it were that simple, this ancient demon would have already entered the demon god's ruins to adventure. Why would he give them a chance? That place was more than a slim chance of survival. It was simply the burial ground of the demons. After billions of eras, Countless demons had died in there. It was also because of this that the demon god's ruins made the expressions of countless demons change. Of course, the most dangerous place in the ruins is a river. Its name is the Yellow Springs River. The ancient demon Jialik continued, his expression solemn. The Yellow Springs River? Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. How could he not have heard of the name of this river? It was simply like thunder piercing his ears. It was a river that traversed the entire hell world and contained many unimaginable powers. Many demons believed that the Yellow Springs River was the source of the entire hell world's power and encompassed everything. Of course, it's not the true Yellow Springs River. It seems to be just a small section of the Yellow Springs River, but it still traversed tens of thousands of light years. The ancient demon Jialik said in a deep voice, "The reason why those demons who reached the invincible realm died was because they accidentally fell into the Yellow Springs River. As a result, their bodies and souls were completely devoured by the Yellow Springs River. They were unable to escape and turned into eternal ghosts on the Yellow Springs River." It is said that billions of eras ago, a large number of void monsters attacked the Green Lotus Hell. They entered the demon god's ruins and actually wanted to explore the secrets of the Yellow Springs River. The result was, as you can imagine, these void monsters that were said to be undying and indestructible were all devoured by the Yellow Springs River. It is said that there was no way for them to be resurrected. Even their souls were devoured by the Yellow Springs River. This caused countless void monsters to regard it as a forbidden area and not dare to enter again. It revealed many secrets regarding the demon god's ruins. He continued, "So, I can totally guess that there must be a huge problem in the Hell of the Green Lotus, forcing the big shots of the Hell of the Green Lotus to speed up the pace of exploring the fiend god's ruins." Hearing this, the pupils of Vasily and the other demon lords shrank. They were not idiots. After being reminded by Xiaoping, they seemed to have sensed that something was amiss, and that there was something unusual about this matter. Not bad at all." The primordial demon Jialik clapped his hands and laughed. "I didn't expect a demon from a medium hell plane like you to have such intelligence. Perhaps you can really come back alive from the ruins. Actually, your guess is right. There is indeed a huge problem in the Hell of the Green Lotus. If you are not careful, the entire Hell of the Green Lotus will be destroyed." His expression was very solemn, and he did not seem to be joking at all. How is that possible? The Hell of the Green Lotus is such a powerful hell plane. How could it be destroyed? You're not joking, are you? Vasily and the other demon lords were in disbelief. Ever since they were born, the Hell of the Green Lotus had always existed, as if it had existed since ancient times. To the other medium hell planes, it was an incomparably huge monster. However, such an existence that was close to the level of a fiend god was facing destruction. How was this possible? How could they believe such a thing? They could not accept it at all. Chapter 2569. Joking? If only it was a joke. The primordial demon Jialik sighed. Unfortunately, this is true, and it happened not long ago. Some demons risked their lives to bring back information. It seems that a large number of void monsters have gathered, and their numbers have reached an unprecedented level. They are probably planning to attack the Green Lotus Hell and destroy it. He revealed an earth-shattering piece of information. What? Vasily and the other demon lords were shocked. If this was true, then the Green Lotus Hell would be in great danger. It was definitely on the verge of death. To be honest, although the Karlach's Hell and the other medium hell planes were attached to the Green Lotus Hell and had to offer tributes every year, they were willing to do so. After all, it was precisely because of the colossal Green Lotus Hell that the rest of the medium hell planes were unscathed, blocking most of the void monsters. If the Green Lotus Hell was destroyed, then the other medium hell planes would definitely not survive. No wonder the big shots of the Green Lotus Hell are so anxious. They need to constantly send demons to explore the demonic god's ruins. They probably want to obtain some treasures from the ruins that might be useful in this situation. Vasily and the other demon lords finally understood the thoughts of the big shots of the Green Lotus Hell. Of course, this matter might not succeed. Even if they entered the demonic god's ruins, they might not be able to get out of their current predicament. But at least there was hope. In short, the high-level demons of the Green Lotus Hell had more than this. Exploring the ruins and searching for treasures of hell was just one of their methods. In order to protect the Green Lotus Hell, they would probably pay any price. After all, it was too difficult to find a new greater hellish plane. The distance between two greater hellish planes was also very far. Ordinary demons might not be able to reach it even if they flew for thousands of years. Moreover, there were many hell storms along the way, and there were even void monsters obstructing them. If they left the Green Lotus Hell, they would most likely die. Therefore, unless it was absolutely necessary, these high-level demons would definitely not give up the Green Lotus Hell. They would definitely fight to the end. It seems that you understand the thoughts of us high-level demons. Since that's the case, you should work hard in the demonic god's ruins and see if you can find any important treasures. After all, this concerns our lives. If we can't find them, then when the Void Monster's army gathers, we will all die. The primordial demon Jialik said lightly. In fact, this information was a top secret even in the Blue Lotus Hell. Only the high-level evil demons knew about it. The other mid-level and low-level evil demons didn't know about it. After all, this was to prevent panic from spreading. If this news were to spread, the Green Lotus Hell would probably be in a mess before the Void Monsters could even attack. However, since Xia Ping and the other demons wanted to enter the Fiend God ruins, it was impossible for them to escape. Therefore, in Jarlik's eyes, exposing this information was nothing. If he died in there, it would be the end of everything. It would be even better if there were any rewards. It would be of great benefit to the entire hell of the Green Lotus. Hearing this, Vasily and the other fiends fell silent, not knowing what to say. They were just small shrimps. How could they bear such a big news? Interesting. Xia Ping rubbed his chin. He didn't expect such a thing to happen. Perhaps this was a good thing for him. If there was no chaos, how could he have the chance to take advantage of the situation? Several days later, the flying ship arrived at the Blue Lotus Hell. We're here. Up ahead is the Azure Lotus Hell. The primordial demon Jialik smiled. Huh. Xia Ping turned around and looked outside through the window of the flying ship. In the distance, a vast green lotus hell appeared in front of Xia Ping, the fiend. It emitted endless hell source energy, like the sun, emitting scorching heat. Such hell source energy was at least 1,000,000 times that of a medium hell plane. The area was vast and boundless, and there was no end to it. However, looking from afar, this hell world looked like a blooming green lotus, emitting an inexplicable Taoist rhyme, as though it was hiding some earth-shattering secret. Swoosh. However, before Xia Ping could think of anything, the flying ship instantly entered the atmosphere of the Green Lotus Hell, entering the internal environment of the Green Lotus Hell in an instant. Interesting. Xia Ping looked at the environment outside the flying ship, and his eyes lit up. It seemed that the Green Lotus Hell was different from the other hell planes. There were no volcanoes, and the smell of sulfur was everywhere. Instead, it was green and full of life, with many unique plants growing in hell. On the plains and valleys, one city after another rose from the ground. The buildings were simple and unadorned, but these cities were filled with something that other hell planes didn't have, and that was order. One should know that in the hell world, chaos and evil were the mainstream, and order was a rare thing. Basically, every demon and nether ghost didn't abide by order. But now, in the hell of the Blue Lotus, there were cities that were orderly and orderly. It wasn't as chaotic as the other hell planes, where there was slaughter everywhere. One could imagine how incredible this was. Curious, the primordial demon Jialik looked at Xia Ping and said with interest, "Yes, I'm indeed curious. It seems that the Green Lotus Hell is different from other hells, and it has order?" Xia Ping said frankly, "Not bad, you're really not bad." Few demons can notice this the first time they enter the Green Lotus Hell. The primordial demon Jialik looked at Xia Ping with admiration. In fact, at the beginning, the Green Lotus Hell was also extremely chaotic. There were wars and killings everywhere, no different from other hell planes. However, later on, those undying void monsters that are even more ferocious than us demons and nether ghosts came. They only take pleasure in destruction, and we demons are their food. Once they gain the upper hand, they will slaughter everyone. After a disastrous defeat, the high-level demons realized that if they continue to let the demons kill each other, without order to maintain order, all the demons in the Green Lotus Hell will be eaten by the void monsters, and all of them will go extinct. Hence, they established absolute order, forbidding the demons from killing each other in the Green Lotus Hell. They built cities, established rules, and established a disciplined army. He meant that order didn't exist from the beginning, but was forced out by the void monsters. Because if it wasn't for that, the Green Lotus Hell would have been destroyed by the void monsters a long time ago, and there would be no future. Chapter 2570. I see. Xiaoping nodded. It seemed like he needed to change his original impression of the Hell world. Perhaps the reason why the Hell world was so chaotic and filled with killing was because there were no external enemies. If there were powerful external enemies, there must be order within the Hell world. After all, without order, a race would not be able to develop and grow steadily. Without order, a race would die in internal friction. In fact, it was the same for humans. In primitive times, humans were also chaotic. In order to fight for food and resources, they would kill each other and kill everywhere. The degree of chaos was no less than the Hell world. But because of the existence of external enemies, the weak humans had no choice but to band together and establish order. Only then could humans continue to develop and grow stronger. We're here. At this moment, the spaceship rapidly moved forward, crossing countless light years. It seemed to have arrived at the center of the Green Lotus Hell, and this central area seemed to have become a forbidden area. The area within a radius of hundreds of thousands of light years had turned into an absolute domain, shrouded in a layer of tyrannical, strange, and mysterious unique power. No life could approach. If they dared to approach, their life force would be immediately devoured. From time to time, this forbidden area would emit a suffocating demonic pressure. The surrounding space-time was distorted, turning into a state of chaos. Whoosh! Before Xiaoping could stand in the sky and observe the general situation of the demonic god's ruins, the spaceship flashed and instantly landed on a base that occupied an area of more than billions of square kilometers. This base was right in front of the demonic god's ruins. There seemed to be many tall and heavy bunkers built in this base. They were set up in various corners of the base, as if these bunkers had also formed the nodes of an array. This also caused the entire base to be shrouded in a tyrannical restrictive array. All the demons that entered seemed to feel a suffocating restriction. No one could cause trouble in this base. With a click, the spaceship landed on an empty space in the base. Following that, Jialik, Xiaoping, and the other demons also walked out of the spaceship. At this moment, a young demon in a black suit, 3 meters tall, with horns on his head, and looking like a butler walked over gracefully. Lord Jialik, you're back. It seems that you've completed the mission well. Lord Jialik actually brought back so many cannon fodder. Lord Jialik will definitely be praised by the various kings. This young demon looked at Xiaoping and the other demons with contempt. Cannon fodder. Hearing this, Vasily and the other demons were so angry that their noses became crooked. What the hell was this bastard demon saying? What kind of gaze was that? It was as if he was looking at a dead demon. Moreover, he even called them cannon fodder, which was really looking down on demons. Right now they were simply filled with anger. Even though they knew that entering the demon god's ruins was a near-death experience, they couldn't say it so blatantly. Wasn't this a slap in the face? This was also cursing them. Haha, cannon fodder. That's not necessarily true. Perhaps there are some good seedlings among them. The primordial fiend Jialik laughed, hinting at something. Oh, it seems like Lord Jarlo is quite optimistic about these cannon fodder. I'll wait and see. I hope they can survive this month. The young demon nodded. 1 month. Hearing this, Vasily and the other demon lords felt their hearts turn cold. They could tell that this was not a threat, but merely a statement of fact. But the more this was the case, the more panicked they became. The way they looked at Xiaoping became even more unfriendly. They simply wanted to tear this troublemaker into pieces. If it wasn't for this bastard, how could they have fallen to such a state? Xiaoping was calm, as if he didn't sense anything. His skin was thicker than a divine artifact. How could mere resentful gazes do anything to him? All right, Adolf. I'll leave these little guys to you. Teach them some of the rules of this base for now. I still have things to do, so I'll leave first. The primordial fiend Jylek waved his hand. Yes, Lord Jylek. Leave this matter to me. This is also my duty. The young demon Adolf nodded. After saying this, the primordial fiend Jylek didn't look back. He drove the spaceship and quickly left the base. Everyone, I'm the blood-sucking demon Adolf. I'm also one of the stewards of this base. The young demon Adolf looked at Xiaoping and the other demons. After entering this base, I believe you know what you need to do. The only thing you need to do in this place is to explore the demon god's ruins. And this is also your duty. You must enter the demon god's ruins twice a year. Newcomers must enter once a month. Only those who have explored the demon god's ruins more than 20 times can leave this base. Otherwise, you are not allowed to leave this base for the rest of your lives. What? Isn't this asking us to die? 1 time is enough to kill us. 20 times? How can we survive? Vasily couldn't help but cry out. If trash dies, then so be it. What's there to feel pity about? The young demon Adolf glanced at him, his face expressionless. You. Vasily was furious. This damned blood-sucking demon actually dared to call him trash. A tyrannical aura emanated from his body, as if he was about to attack. Dong! But before Vasily could attack, the young demon Adolf waved his hand. Instantly, a lightning punishment descended from the void, instantly striking Vasily's head. Ah! Vasily immediately screamed in pain. His entire body fell to the ground, twitching nonstop as if he had turned into charcoal. This, the other fiend overlord's pupils constricted in shock. Vasily was, after all, a peak ancient demon who had comprehended the laws of creation. But a single lightning punishment had actually reduced him to such a state. This is the base's hell lightning punishment. The young demon Adolf said indifferently. I forgot to tell you just now. In this base, the words of our steward are the rules. No demon can disobey, or they will be severely punished. Also in this base, no demon can have any conflict, even if they have a huge conflict. Otherwise, they will be punished and thrown into the demon god's ruins. Yes, the many fiend overlords were all awestruck. They knew how much power the steward had in this territory. If they dared to offend him, they would definitely suffer a fate worse than death. As demons, they were used to being cowardly. As the saying goes, people under eaves have to lower their heads. Right, you will also have your own rooms in this base. Your rooms are private property, sacred and inviolable. Of course, you can't trespass into other demons' rooms, or you will be severely punished. The young demon Adolf said, Don't worry. I won't have any prejudice against you, nor will I hate you. After all, this might be our first meeting, and it might also be our last. Chapter 2571. This is your room number plate. You can use this number plate to enter your own room. At this moment, the young demon Adolf took out a palm-sized plate. It was dark gold in color, and made of unknown materials. It contained the power of a mysterious restrictive formation. This number plate is equivalent to a room key. You can drip blood on it to recognize it as your master. Apart from you, no one else can use this number plate. Unless you die, this number plate will automatically lose its effect. Hearing this, Vasily and the other demon overlords subconsciously looked at the number plate Adolf handed over. At this moment, Vasily's body seemed to have recovered. Based on his peak primordial demon physique, a single Hell's Thunder punishment would not be able to cause fatal damage to him. In addition, this young fiend Adolf only wanted to give Vasily a warning, not kill him. Therefore, in just a short while he crawled up from where he was. However, he did not dare to be arrogant towards Adolf, and was much more cautious and low-key. Interesting. Xiaoping was no exception. He quickly refined this number plate as well. Immediately, his soul seemed to form a mysterious mental connection with this number plate. Vaguely, he seemed to sense the specific location of his room. In the depths of his sea of consciousness, a map of this base appeared, as well as the distribution of most of its locations. Alright, since you have refined this number plate, I believe that you will be able to sense the map that has appeared in your sea of consciousness. Based on the map of this base, you will be able to find your own room. That will be all for the guidance. If there is anything you do not understand, feel free to ask me. The young demon Adolf said calmly. Right, there is one more thing I need to tell you. You will enter the demon god's ruins in 7 days. I hope that you can use this time to make sufficient preparations. After saying this, he turned around and left the place. As soon as the young demon Adolf left, Vasily and the other 11 demons stared at Xiaoping with ferocious eyes. Every one of them was fiendish, as if they wanted to skin Xiaoping alive. Aldrich, you slut. It's all because of you, you bastard. If it weren't for you, how could we have ended up like this? This time, the primordial demon Jialik isn't here. Let's see who else can help you. A demon overlord was brimming with murderous intent, looking extremely fierce. His hatred for Xiaoping had reached a boiling point. He had been living a good life in the hell of Icarus, living a carefree life for countless years without worrying about food or clothing. Now he had been careless and ended up being scammed by this bastard Aldrich. He had been forcefully captured to explore the fiend god's ruins. There was only a slim chance of survival. How could it not be angry? It wished for nothing more than to tear this bastard into 1,000 pieces. Aldrich, go to hell. Be careful, don't die the moment you enter. Vasily and the other demon lords warned him fiercely. Oh, is that so? If you have the guts, come and beat me now. Why do you still have to wait to enter the ruins? Aren't you all very great? Now I'm itching for a beating. If you have the guts, come and beat me. Xiaoping said disdainfully, his tone getting more and more arrogant. Get out of here. Vasily and the other demon lords bared their teeth. Damn, this bastard knew that they couldn't touch him in the base, so he became even more arrogant. However, they were shrewd demons. They couldn't be bothered to argue with this bastard. They would wait for the exploration of the demon god's ruins in 7 days, and then they would kill this bastard. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Thinking of this, they ignored Xiaoping's provocation and quickly flew to their rooms according to the map in their memory. Xiaoping also went with them. Basically, all the demons lived in the same place, which belonged to the same residential area. Therefore, no matter how unwilling Vasily and the other demons were, they had to let this bastard Xiaoping continue to follow them. After all, it was along the way. They could only suppress their anger. Chapter 2572. Demon Dormitory. Not long after, Xiaoping, Vasily, and the other demons arrived at the dormitory. In front of the dormitory area was a vast square. This place seemed to have many chairs and stools made of stone, as if it was a resting area. Many powerful demons were resting here, chatting, or exchanging information. The place was noisy and lively. Swish, swish, swish. In an instant, Xiaoping, Vasily, and the rest of the 12 demons entered the resting area. They were immediately discovered by many powerful demons in the resting area, and their gazes swept over. Oh, so many cannon fodder came today. That's rare. They must have been captured by those high-level demons. What a pitiful little fella. I guess they don't even know what this place is. Who knows how long they can live? How long? Wait until they live their first time. Anything else is just a waste of time. Many powerful fiends discussed among themselves, looking at Vasily and the other fiends in a mocking manner. Their eyes were filled with pity, as if they were looking at a bunch of dead people. Hey, you little devils, come over here. At this moment, a tall rock demon spoke in a low voice. Its body emitted the aura of the peak of the immemorial ancient realm, as if it was just a step away from the immemorial ancient realm. Moreover, its aura was clearly much stronger than that of Vasily and the other immemorial ancient demons. Even demons of the same realm, due to the difference in bloodline, combat experience, hell's magic, weapons, and so on, there was a huge difference in strength between them. And this peak immemorial ancient rock demon was clearly among the strongest immemorial ancient demons. Its stone body seemed to be covered with densely packed hell's twisted runes, causing its body to be filled with the tyrannical power of hell. Its body was tempered to the point of being indestructible, comparable to a sacred weapon. What's the matter? Vasily and the other demon overlords felt their hearts tighten. They felt that this rock demon definitely had something bad to say. What else? Do you have any treasures on you? Feel free to take them out for me to see. If you have enough precious treasures, I can teach you some of my experiences in entering the demon god ruins. These experiences are lessons learned in blood. They are things that cannot be bought with money. The few of you should consider it. The rock demon spoke in a low voice, its eyes looking greedily at Vasily and the other demon overlords. How could Vasily and the other demons not know that they were being blackmailed? Clearly, this rock devil thought that they might have some kind of treasure on them, so it came up to threaten and extort them. If he succeeded, he might be able to take advantage of this opportunity to make a fortune. Of course, if this rock demon really had any important information, they were willing to pay the price. After all, information on the fiend god ruins was extremely precious. They also wanted to know some information. What's wrong? Silence. Could it be that you are unwilling? Are you newcomers looking down on us seniors? Are you not going to give us seniors face? Do you know the consequences of offending us seniors? If I want to kill you, it's just a matter of a word. The rock demon sneered and threatened. Vasily and the other fiends clenched their fists. They could feel the pressure coming from all directions, as if a mountain was crushing down on them. None of the demons present were weaker than him. At the very least, they were all of the immemorial ancient state. There were even some of them who were of the immemorial ancient state. They had been in the hell of Karloth for a long time, and had never seen so many ancient fiends. It was as if ancient fiends were worthless in this place. No wonder they were called cannon fodder. Don't be too arrogant, rock demon. Right at this moment, Xiaoping walked out. Do you really think our boss is that easily intimidated by a few words of yours? What kind of joke is this? Don't you know what kind of bloodshed our boss Vasily has walked out of? He has even killed thousands of void monsters. Once upon a time, 100,000 void monsters surrounded the hell of Korosis. Our boss, Vasily, single-handedly fought his way in and out of the hell of Korosis. Who the hell do you think you are, you rock devil? Keep bragging. Surrounded by 100,000 void monsters, you still fought your way in and out. Why don't you go to heaven? The rock demon and the other fiends were speechless. This was the first time they had seen such a thick-skinned demon. He was lying without thinking. Haha, ignorant bumpkins. You haven't seen it, because you're ignorant. Just because you can't do it doesn't mean other demons can't. You just haven't seen how powerful my boss Vasily is. Boss, show a little of your ability and scare them. Xiaoping said carelessly. Scare your sister. Hearing this, Vasily was so angry that his face turned green. He wanted nothing more than to strangle Xiaoping. Xiaoping didn't even think of a script to boast. His face was red. If he was really that strong, he wouldn't be afraid of that ancient demon Jialik. He would have beaten him half to death. How could he be forced to come to this damned place? He even wanted him to show off his abilities. Wasn't this putting him on a grill to roast? If he showed off his abilities but couldn't scare these fiends, he would lose a lot of face. Without a doubt, this bastard clearly wanted him to become the target of everyone and use him as a shield. Interesting. You're really arrogant. You even killed thousands of void monsters. Even your subordinates are so arrogant. You don't have any demons in your eyes. Come and see if you're really that capable. The rock demon laughed sinisterly and clenched his fists tightly. He stared at Vasily. Compete my ass. Who doesn't know that fighting is not allowed in the base? If there's a violation, you'll be severely punished. Do you think we'll be fooled so easily? If you're so stupid, don't come out to trick demons. You're making a fool of yourself. Xiaoping said disdainfully. What? Hearing this, the rock demon was so angry that its face turned green. To be honest, even a clay man would be furious if he heard this, let alone a hot-tempered demon. How could he stand such mockery? What are you looking at? I've never seen such a powerful demon, Xiaoping said disdainfully. Due to the rules here, my boss can't do anything to you in the base. But once you leave the base and enter the demon god's ruins, you'll suffer. Don't let us see you outside the base. Otherwise, we'll beat you up every time we see you. We'll beat you up until your father can't recognize you. Bastard, you're courting death. The rock demon went crazy. It couldn't stand such mockery and wanted to punch down. But just as its fist was about to swing into the air, boom! A black thunderbolt descended from the void and instantly electrocuted the rock demon. It fell to the ground like a piece of coal, foaming at the mouth. It was in extreme pain. Fighting is not allowed in the base. This is a warning. If there's a next time, you'll be thrown into the demon god's ruins. At this time, a mechanical voice sounded from the void. Chapter 2573. Hearing this voice, all the demons kept quiet out of fear, not daring to make a sound. All the demons that joined this base were more or less rebellious. How could they possibly obey this bullshit rule so easily? But after being electrocuted a few times, they all accepted it and no longer dared to disobey it. Especially that rock demon. After being electrocuted once, it no longer dared to be arrogant. It could only stare at Xiaoping with resentment, as if it wanted to tear Xiaoping into pieces. What are you looking at? Rock demon, if you have the guts, come and hit me. If you can't kill me, you lose. Xiaoping said disdainfully. He was fearless. You. Hearing this, the rock demon was so angry that its lungs almost exploded. It had never seen such a shameless demon. This was the first time in its life. Even its lackeys weren't as shameless as this guy. Taking advantage of the fact that they couldn't fight in the base, he provoked them everywhere. But after being electrocuted once, it knew how powerful the rules here were. It wasn't something it could easily provoke. Facing such provocation, it endured it. Kid, and you poison demon, don't let me find a chance outside. Otherwise, I'll definitely kill you all. The rock demon struggled to get up from the ground. It stared at Xiaoping vastly, and the other demons fiercely. After saying this, it turned around and left. This, Vastly and the other demons were also furious. They glared at Xiaoping, wishing they could tear Xiaoping to pieces. They could have avoided this disaster unscathed, and there wouldn't have been any conflict. Now, with this bastard stirring up trouble, both sides had become mortal enemies. They had gained a bunch of enemies in this place for no reason. When they entered the demon god's ruins, not only would they have to guard against all kinds of unpredictable dangers, but they would also have to guard against their own people. This bastard was asking for a beating. Whoosh! But at this time, Xiaoping's figure flashed and slipped away. He didn't give Vastly and the other demons a chance to do anything, which made them feel even more aggrieved. 7 days later, in the blink of an eye, Xiaoping had stayed in this base for a full 7 days. He wandered around in this place, and could be considered to have a thorough understanding of this base. Most of the demons that came to this base had been tricked or captured. Basically, they were all from the middle planes that belonged to the Blue Lotus Hell. After all, the Hell of Blue Lotus had 3 million medium hell planes attached to it. Even if one medium hell plane was taken out, there would be at least 3 million primordial demons. Moreover, these demons were also extremely powerful. They were all special types of demons. For example, rock demons, rubber demons, diamond demons, ice demons, swamp demons, lava demons, rebound demons, blade demons, and so on. All of them had special abilities and extraordinary combat power. Of course, other than the demons from the subsidiary planes, there were also some powerful demons from the Blue Lotus Hell. They purely wanted to break through their limits and enter the Fiend God ruins to search for treasures. After all, they also wanted to become stronger and break through the limits of their bloodline. Occasionally, some demons who had reached the invincible realm would appear in the demon god's relic. This kind of situation basically meant that they had obtained some important information, so they appeared. In the Green Lotus Hell, which was a high-level hell plane, only demons who had reached the invincible realm could be called lords. No, they shouldn't be lords but kings. They built kingdoms in the Blue Lotus Hell, and all the devils lived in these kingdoms. The primordial demons were the nobles of these kingdoms, and their status was second only to the king. They also adopted a centralized system and completely abolished the feudal system. Only the king could occupy the entire territory of the kingdom, and his status was supreme, and he ruled over everything. The base of the ruins was a place that many of the demon kingdoms of the Blue Lotus Hell had worked together to build. It could be said that they had spent a lot of manpower and resources. Hell Source Stone. Xiaoping touched his chin. Of course, during this period of time, he had learned that the basic currency of the Blue Lotus Hell was actually the Hell Source Stone. The so-called Hell Source Stone was a special, or that only high-level hell planes could produce. These ores contained rich hell's origin energy, which was extremely beneficial to the growth of the devils. Every abyss devil desired a large amount of hell origin stones. Only by doing so could they accelerate their growth. Hell origin energy could even strengthen their bloodlines a little. Therefore, the Hell Source Stone could be said to be the hard currency of the Blue Lotus Hell. Xiaoping also took the opportunity to take out some treasures and exchange them with the surrounding devils. He got 5 or 6 Hell Source Stones. In the end, he discovered that the Hell Source Stones were indeed treasures. Not only were they extremely beneficial to the devils, but they were also extremely beneficial to the growth of his Golden Crow of Hell bloodline. Just 5 or 6 Hell Source Stones allowed him to awaken tens of millions of Golden Crow of Hell cells. Of course, this was nothing compared to the hundreds of billions of Golden Crow of Hell cells in his body, but it was also a shortcut to strengthen the Golden Crow of Hell bloodline in his body. If he could obtain a large number of Hell Source Stones, his Golden Crow of Hell bloodline would most likely improve further. Looks like I have to find an opportunity to obtain a large number of Hell Source Stones. Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. The Hell Source Stone could not only awaken his Golden Crow of Hell bloodline, but it was also the currency of the Blue Lotus Hell. As long as he had enough Hell Source Stones, he could exchange them for all kinds of treasures of hell, even treasures of hell. In fact, they had set up a trading center in the base. If the devils found any special treasures in the demon god's ruins, they could take them out and exchange them for a large number of Hell Source Stones at the trading center. That way, the high-level devils of the Blue Lotus Hell could collect a large number of items from the demon god's ruins. They did not need to use forceful means to snatch them. Beep beep. At this moment, a message came from Xiaoping's token. It instantly appeared in his mind. Come to the base's square. We will enter the demon god's ruins in 6 hours. If you dare to be late or not come, you will be killed. This message was murderous and had a strong warning. Because some devils were afraid of entering the demon god's ruins, they would find many excuses not to enter. The base had to prevent such things from happening. Is it starting? I wonder what is in the demon god's ruins. Xiaoping was very curious. To be honest, he had waited for this day for 7 days. He had long wanted to enter the demon god's ruins to see what was inside. But this is my first time entering the demon god's ruins, so I can't take too many risks. I'll let my avatar enter to see what's going on. Xiaoping thought about it, and felt that it was better to let his Gaia avatar enter the demon god's ruins. Of course, to prevent the Khanate treasure, the formless mask, from being lost inside, Gaia's avatar could enter alone. The avatar cultivated the transformation ability, which was enough to deceive most devils. Even if his true body was discovered, it did not matter. At most he could run away. Chapter 2574. 6 hours later, in the square of the base. At the moment, there were at least 1,000 demons gathered in the square. They were at least Middle Ancient Realm demons, and most of them were Ancient Realm demons. There were also a few Primordial Realm demons. The demons that entered the demon god's relic were not just first-timers like Xiaoping. There were also many veterans. After all, they also needed to enter to explore and accumulate merits. And the rock golem from 7 days ago was among them. It stared at Xiaoping, Vasily, and the other demons with murderous intent. Obviously, it had not forgotten what had happened before and still bore a grudge. Vasily and the other demons were so angry that their faces turned green. This had nothing to do with them. It was purely Xiaoping, that bastard demon's mouth. Otherwise this would not have happened. They hated Xiaoping to the extreme, and wanted nothing more than to kill him. That's weird. What is this feeling? At this moment, Xiaoping blinked and completely ignored the rock golem, Vasily, and the other demons. His mind was completely immersed in his Gaia doppelganger. To be honest, after cultivating the new Gaia doppelganger and giving birth to the supernatural power of misfortune, he had taken the initiative to put away the Gaia doppelganger in order to avoid any trouble. But now that he summoned the Gaia doppelganger and used it in the outside world, he immediately realized that something was wrong. He could sense that, with his body as the center, tens of thousands of light years around him seemed to be shrouded in an inexplicable aura of misfortune. There were signs of dark clouds looming over him. Of course, other demons, even invincible realm demons, could not feel this aura of misfortune other than himself. This was a power that belonged to the fate level and was unfathomable. Vaguely, there seemed to be many unusual misfortunes attacking him from the depths of the void. This is going to be troublesome. Xiaoping touched his chin. He vaguely felt that letting the Gaia doppelganger explore the demon god's relic was a wrong choice. This doppelganger had the power of misfortune. It was like the god of misfortune, and it was the kind that harmed others and himself. In an extremely dangerous place like the demon god's relic, if bad luck was added, wouldn't it mean certain death? But now that he was in the square, it was too late to change to another doppelganger. Under the watchful eyes of so many demons, he could not do this. This is malicious? Xiaoping blinked. Suddenly, he felt that there seemed to be some demons in the square with faint malice, killing intent, or ill intentions toward him. As long as there was any malice, the immense aura of misfortune in the depths of the void would surge. It was as if the power of fate was being drawn in, and it would madly entangle the karmic threads. A second later, Xiaoping saw that the stone golem, Vasily, and the other fiends' bodies seemed to be surrounded by quite a bit of the aura of misfortune. It was as though the more malicious they were towards him, the more the aura of misfortune there would be. Vaguely, these demons seemed to be emitting waves of death chi. No matter how one looked at it, these demons looked like they were about to face a calamity and were extremely unlucky. These demons won't have bad luck because of me, right? I hope they will have a better life after entering the fiend god ruins, Xiaoping thought with a guilty conscience. Boom! At this moment, a tyrannical primordial demon flew over from afar. It was tall and black all over, and it exuded a tyrannical aura of the world laws, so much so that the surrounding demons could hardly breathe. I am the bramble demon Buzarum. I am your leader this time, and I am responsible for bringing you into the fiend god ruins. The bramble demon Buzarum spoke with a buzzing voice. This fiend god ruins will only open once a month, and it will only be open for 2 hours each time. Therefore, you must seize the opportunity in time. After you enter the fiend god ruins, you can only stay inside for a full month. You can only come out after the next opening of the fiend god ruins. What? Many of the newly arrived demons' expressions changed drastically. They actually had to stay in the fiend god ruins for a full month. The fiend god ruins were extremely dangerous to begin with. If they stayed inside for a month, wouldn't they be doomed? Of course, don't try to be smart and think that the depths of the fiend god ruins are dangerous. You can leave safely by staying at the entrance for a month. The bramble demon Buzarum smiled grimly. This is indeed a smart approach, but it will only make you die faster. The more demons you gather together, the more evil spirits and monsters you will attract, and the faster you will die. In the past, some demons thought they were smart and stayed at the entrance. In the end, they attracted thousands of monsters and devoured them. None of the demons came back alive. Even the primordial demons couldn't do anything about it. Many of the demons were shocked. They didn't expect that staying together would be so dangerous. The more demons there were, the more the aura they emitted would attract the attention of more monsters. Therefore, acting alone was the best choice. The problem was that if they acted alone, they would die if they encountered any monsters they couldn't resist. Because of this, the best way to explore the fiend god ruins was to form a small team, not too many or too few people. They could barely resist the danger, and wouldn't attract the attention of too strong monsters. Okay, I won't talk nonsense with you. It's time for the ruins to open. Let's go in. The bramble demon Buzarum waved his hand. Boom! In the blink of an eye, the teleportation array on the square immediately lit up. Suddenly the stars moved and space changed. In an instant, the demons on the square were teleported to another space. In front of them was a barren plain that stretched as far as the eye could see. Not a single blade of grass grew, and everywhere was filled with a deathly stillness. In the depths of the void, there were also countless space-time cracks, which made people's hearts palpitate. And in front of them, there was a huge black door. It was ancient, and it was engraved with the patterns of fiend gods. It emitted a terrifying power that made people's hearts palpitate. Dong! At this moment the black door suddenly opened. With a click, the two doors quickly opened, revealing a bottomless dark vortex. Following that, a series of hurried, panic-stricken voices rang out. "Hurry, the door is open. Let's run, the monster is catching up. Great, we can finally leave this damned place. Hurry up and run. We survived. We finally survived." In the blink of an eye, the black door had just opened, and figures flew out from it. They fell to the ground in an extremely wretched manner. They looked extremely wretched. Their bodies seemed to be more or less missing key parts, such as missing arms, legs, and so on. They were covered in blood, and looked extremely wretched. But these demons still emitted a powerful aura. Clearly they weren't weak demons. They were at least immemorial ancient, and there were even some immemorial ancient. But at this moment, they looked like stray dogs, so scared that they didn't have any guts. Chapter 2576. When Vasily and the other novice demons saw this scene, their pupils shrank in horror. They could see how terrifying the demons that came out of the portal were. Every one of them was stronger than them, and there were even immemorial demons among them. But even so, the demons that came out of the portal were in such a state, as if they were half crippled. If they were only half crippled, it would be fine. But in fact, most of the demons that went in never came back. Seeing such a scene, even the senior demons trembled a little. Although they had more experience, they might not be able to withstand the dangers that existed everywhere in the ruins. "Buzarum, you're the one leading the team this time?" At this time, an immemorial demon saw the bramble demon and asked. It seemed like they knew each other. "That's right. After all, I also have the obligation to explore the demon god's ruins." The bramble demon Buzarum said in a deep voice. "Be careful. The demon god's ruins don't seem to be peaceful now. Just now we encountered a demonic beast and were almost killed. We couldn't come back." The immemorial demon warned. "Demonic beast?" Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. He didn't waste this week. Naturally, he figured out some things about the demon god's ruins. Among them, demonic beasts were monsters unique to the demon god's ruins. It was said that the so-called demonic beasts were terrifying monsters formed after the demon god fell. Their blood, flesh, and other parts scattered around, devouring the netherworld energy, huge resentment, and power of origin. Not only did these demonic beasts have a strong physique, but they also had the strong corrosive power of the demon god's bloodline. And when the demon god was still alive, this corrosive power was naturally a good thing. They could become the demon god's dependents. But after they fell, this corrosive power was fatal. It would make many demons fall. Once the demonic beasts tore their wounds, their bloodline would be corroded. Then, the demons would completely fall and quickly turn into mindless demonic beasts, becoming part of the demonic beasts. Even in the demon god's ruins, a considerable number of demonic beasts were transformed from the demons that went in. This also made countless demons tremble in fear. "Okay, I got it." Upon hearing this, the bramble devil Buzarum nodded seriously. He naturally knew the seriousness of this matter. The scariest thing about evil creatures wasn't their strength, but their corrosive power. Even the devils in the invincible realm couldn't resist it, just like the virus in Resident Evil. "That's good. I wish you a pleasant journey." After saying these words, the demons that ran out of the portal didn't stay in the same place. They quickly returned to the base. They also needed to recover from their injuries and recuperate. It was already a great thing for them to be able to escape alive. How could they still be in the mood to talk to other demons? "Go in." Buzarum waved his hand. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. In the blink of an eye, the other devils followed Buziram and entered the huge portal. Xiaoping naturally didn't hesitate. In the next second, he felt as if he had passed through a void passage and arrived in another space. Ha! Xiaoping's divine sense spread out. He suddenly found that he seemed to be in a huge temple, and this portal was located in the deepest part of the temple. As for outside the temple, it seemed to be an ancient city. Buildings were located all around, and countless streets crisscrossed. However, it seemed that after a long time, the buildings in this place had decayed, and there were potholes everywhere. Moreover, the area of the entire ancient city was also very large, at least 10,000 light years, and one couldn't see the end of it at a glance. Remember, this demon god's ruins is built by one ancient city after another. As for how many cities there are, we still don't know. Just the ones we found alone. There are 108. Buziram said in a deep voice. In such an ancient hell city, there may be all kinds of treasures left in the demon god's era. But in such a city, there will also be evil creatures wandering around, and there may be evil creatures running amok. You must be very careful. Otherwise, if you are discovered by evil creatures, you will die. The so-called evil creatures were monsters unique to the demon god's ruins. They were hell's jailers or nether ghosts. After they died, their bodies would not be destroyed, and then they would devour countless years of resentment, anger, and other negative energy. Finally, they would become immortal and irrational monsters. The only thought of these evil creatures was to kill all living creatures. Moreover, evil creatures were even more terrifying than evil creatures, because evil creatures' bodies were invisible and colorless. They could pass through various buildings at will, and they specialized in devouring souls. Even with their nether ghost bodies, they were difficult to kill. After entering the demon god's ruins, demons would rather encounter evil creatures than evil creatures. Evil creatures, evil creatures. Xiaoping stroked his chin, his eyes revealing a glimmer of light. To be honest, his body was restless. The Gaia space within him seemed to be very interested in the resentment, hatred, demonic aura, curse aura, and other negative energy that emanated from the demon god's ruins. It was as if this place was his cultivation treasure land. If he could devour these negative energies, he might be able to accelerate the growth of his Gaia space. Of course, he was still forcefully suppressing his impulses. Your main task is to survive in this place. While ensuring your own survival, do your best to explore the maps of the ancient cities or obtain treasures. Buziram said, Of course, if you don't have the ability, you can live here for a month and experience the horror of the demon god's ruins for the time being. Dong. At this time, the spatial gate behind the demons completely closed, seemingly turning into a wall. Before it opened, no one knew that this wall was actually a spatial passage connected to the outside world. They knew that they could only stay in this place for a month. After a month, they could leave this damned place. Alright, that's about it. Take care of yourselves. The bramble demon Buziram faintly said. After saying that, his figure flashed and left this place. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. The other primordial demons also flew off in all directions. It was unknown how many times they had come to this place, but they were already familiar with it. Naturally, they had their own places they wanted to go. It didn't take long for all the primordial demons to leave. Chapter 2577. After the primordial demons left, the other experienced demons also quickly left the place. They also knew that if a large number of demons gathered together, it would easily attract attacks from other demons and evil spirits. These monsters were extremely thirsty for living creatures, and they could not wait to tear them apart and devour their flesh and blood. However, the 10 or so primordial demons that were provoked by Xiaoping earlier stopped. They looked ferocious and immediately surrounded Xiaoping and the others. They rubbed their palms and were full of killing intent. Brat, you guys were pretty arrogant earlier. You actually dared to provoke us in every possible way, just because the demons in the base are not allowed to attack us. Who gave you guys such courage and guts? Arrogant, continue to be arrogant. The rock demon smiled malevolently and stared at Vasily and the others. It had waited for this opportunity for a long time. Seeing that the other demons were no longer in the area, it quickly surrounded them to take revenge. Seeing these powerful fiends surrounding them, Vasily and the other fiends' faces turned green. This was an undeserved calamity, and it was all because of that bastard Aldrich. They were just caught in the crossfire. But now, these demons were treating them as a thorn in their side. Wait, Rock Demon. This matter has nothing to do with us. If you want revenge, you should look for that bastard Aldrich. He is the real culprit. Vasily immediately said. Interesting. Aren't you its boss? How can you be so disloyal? At such a critical moment, you pushed your little brother out to take the blame. Who will listen to you in the future? The Rock Demon smiled malevolently. Loyal? Are you still a demon? Besides, this little brother is useless. He only knows how to cause trouble all day long. I can't wait for him to die. Vasily sneered, not feeling ashamed at all. Good, very good. I like your shameless look. Then you should personally kill your little brother and offer its head to me. That way, I can forgive you this time. The Rock Demon's eyes revealed a treacherous look. It was using a trick to sow discord. If this guy really killed its little brother, it would cause internal strife among the team. This would be a great benefit to it, as it could weaken the power of these demons. If this fellow was lying and wanted to secretly attack them, then it would immediately be able to tell. Don't worry, I'll kill this Aldrich and let it die a rhythmic death. To be honest, this was exactly what Vasily wanted. He could not wait to kill this bastard. If it were not for this bastard, they would still be living comfortably in the hell of Icarus. He wouldn't have been thrown into this fiend god ruin, like he was now, with a slim chance of survival. It could be said that the two of them had already formed a great enmity of life and death, the kind that would not rest until one of them was dead. Why bother, Vasily? We're all demons from the same place. Why fight to the death here? Why not turn hostility into friendship? Xiaoping suggested. Transform your sister. Vasily roared angrily. I wanted to resolve things with you before, but you bastard wouldn't. Now you're begging for mercy? Is there such a good thing in the world? To tell you the truth, you'll definitely die today. You won't live past the second day. Yes, Aldrich, if I don't kill you today, I'll change my surname to yours. Do you know how long I have endured? Today, I can finally maintain my composure. You'll definitely die. The other demon overlords were seething with killing intent. It could be said that the killing intent they had been holding back for the past few days had finally erupted today. They had endured for so long, all for the sake of killing Xiaoping today. Rumble, numerous creation domains enveloped the surroundings and seemed to have sealed off all directions. They blocked all of Xiaoping's paths of retreat, not giving him a place to escape at all. Sigh, revenge breeds revenge. Don't you know that the greatest enemy in the fiend god ruin isn't me, but the monster that lives in this place? Xiaoping sighed, revealing a look of pity. Monster, your sister. I'll kill you first, then I'll kill that monster. You're just a monster from the fiend god ruin, so what? Do you really think I'll be scared? Vasily smiled malevolently. His body seemed to emanate a terrifying poisonous gas that enveloped the surroundings, permeating every corner of the void. Every wisp of poisonous gas could disintegrate the enemy's nerves. When the rock golem and the other demons saw this, their expressions turned grave. It seemed that the strength of this ancient demon from the middle infernal plane was not simple. It would not be easy to deal with. Whoosh! At this moment, before Vasily could even make a move, ripples appeared in the void. Then, more than 10 malevolent spirits with distorted bodies crawled out of the void. As soon as they appeared, the surrounding hundreds of thousands of kilometers seemed to be completely frozen by a cold aura. It was as if they had fallen into an ice hell, and even their souls could not help but shiver. Each evil spirit was more than a dozen meters tall, and they looked ferocious. Dong! Without saying a word, these evil spirits instantly pounced on Vasily's body. Like vicious dogs, they crazily tore at Vasily's body, making cracking sounds. Ah! In an instant, Vasily let out a shrill scream. How could he have expected that evil spirits would appear at this time? Moreover, they were so silent that even the domain of creation could not detect them. Although he was a toxic demon, and his body was highly toxic, and ordinary demons did not dare to approach him. For these evil spirits, the toxic poison was useless. Whatever they tore at, they were also tearing at Vasili's soul. What's going on? Why did evil spirits suddenly appear in this temple? Isn't it? Are there no demons or evil spirits nearby? Where exactly did these evil spirits come from? It's not the time to talk about this. These evil spirits are almost impossible to kill. Let's run. The faces of the rock demon and the other dozen experienced demons changed. Even though they had entered the demon god ruins a few times, they had never encountered a situation like this. To encounter evil spirits right after entering was just too unlucky. They did not dare to resist at all, and immediately wanted to run. No, no, no. Save me, save me, save me. Vasily screamed again and again. He was suffering unimaginable pain in his life. He could not use his peak immemorial ancient power at all. It seemed like ordinary power was useless against evil spirits. However, such screams scared the other demons and made them retreat. Even the demon lord of the Hell of Icarus, who had been on the same side as him, quickly ran away. With a few cracking sounds, in just a breath's time, Vasili's soul was torn to pieces by these evil spirits and eaten raw, leaving nothing behind. The strongest demon of the Hell of Icarus was killed by evil spirits as soon as he entered the demon god's hell. This is the power of bad luck. Xiaoping's eyebrows jumped, and he immediately sighed in amazement. He could sense that Vasili's body was surrounded by misfortune, and he was facing the omen of death. However, he had never imagined that the power of misfortune would be so terrifying, to the point of achieving the effect of using little effort to overcome 1,000 caddies, easily eliminating an ancient peak fiend. In fact, if it wasn't for the fact that Vasily was plagued by bad luck, these evil spirits would have dealt with him first. Third sect leader. Chapter 2578. Interesting. Xiaoping blinked. He realized that the power of misfortune was not limited to just that. In fact, he himself was the source of misfortune, so he should be the most dangerous existence. The problem was, as long as someone had malicious intent or other negative emotions toward him, the power of misfortune would follow the karmic lines and be transferred to those enemies. This was equivalent to these enemies helping him to share most of the power of misfortune. In this way, he became the life form with the thinnest aura of misfortune, so the danger would first find the life form shrouded in misfortune, and then let him go. At this moment, he was like an invisible person. Any enemy would treat him like air, and all the disasters would let him go, or even specifically avoid him. It was as if he had become the luckiest person. But when all the enemies were dead, the aura of misfortune would return to him, and he would become the biggest source of misfortune again, and so on. A human-shaped disaster. This is indeed a human-shaped disaster. Xiaoping finally understood how terrifying this Gaia avatar of his was. It was indeed a natural human-shaped disaster, and it would bring disasters wherever it went. And the more the enemies were hostile toward him, the greater the disaster would be. But the greater the disaster, the faster his host of disaster would grow, and at the same time, the greater the disaster would be. There was almost no limit to it. My God, Vasily died in a single encounter. What kind of joke is this? One of the primordial demons trembled in fear when he saw this. Even though he had been vigilant, he had still underestimated the horror of the demon god's ruins. They had just entered the demon god's ruins, and they had not gone far. Vasily, the primordial demon who was once the strongest in the Hell of Icarus, had been bitten to death by these evil spirits in an instant, without being able to fight back. No matter how hard they tried, they could not imagine this. Run, run quickly. We are no match for these evil spirits. Damn it. Didn't they say that there would be no evil spirits or demons in this place? What the hell is going on? Normally, there wouldn't be any, but when we're unlucky, anything can happen. Occasionally, we'll encounter evil spirits and demons at the entrance. We can only blame our bad luck. Damn it, how could it be like this? It couldn't have happened sooner or later, but it just had to happen when all the ancient fiends were gone. Could it be that even the heavens want to destroy us? Many demons panicked, and their faces turned pale with fright. Even the veteran demons were terrified. How could they have imagined that something like this would happen so suddenly? As for the matter of killing Xiaoping, they had long forgotten about it. Now it was important to escape. Revenge and whatnot, they could think about it later. If they died in the hands of these evil spirits, then there was no need to say anything. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. In the blink of an eye, these demons desperately fled in all directions. They simply had no time to pay attention to Xiaoping. However, there was no movement at all, because the speed of these evil spirits was too fast. Teleportation was not enough to describe their speed. They were invisible, colorless, and traceless. Crash! In an instant, the wraiths spread out and pounced on different demons. They were like hellhounds, baring their fangs and biting down on these demons. With a few crunching sounds, the souls of these devils were easily bitten into pieces like chocolate. Damn evil spirits, I'll fight it out with you. These ancient fiends roared angrily. They operated the laws of creation in their bodies, producing a terrifying power of hell that distorted the void. It was as if thousands of volcanoes were erupting at the same time. Boom! A violent energy distorted the void and exploded just like that, attempting to blast these evil spirits away from his body. With a boom, these evil spirits seemed to be unable to withstand the power, and were immediately shattered into pieces. Success! Some demons cried out in surprise. Success my ass! Hurry up and run. These evil spirits can't be killed. Their bodies are invisible and colorless, and they can scatter at will. Even if their bodies scatter, their spirits won't. Unless it's a special power, you can't hurt them at all. Some veteran demons clearly knew how terrifying these evil spirits were. They had dealt with these evil spirits several times, so they naturally knew how terrifying these evil spirits in the demon god's relic were. Crash! Sure enough, just as the experienced evil demon had said, the bodies of the wraiths that had been blasted to pieces by this power actually gathered together again in the next second, unscathed. How can this be? Those ancient fiends were shocked and afraid. Just now, they had used all their strength to display the domain of creation. Even ancient fiends of the same level couldn't resist it, and would be seriously injured. However, this power was useless against these evil spirits. It couldn't kill them at all. Were these the evil spirits of the demon god's relic? They were simply undefeatable existences, and they seemed to be even more terrifying than the void monsters. Crunch! But just because they were shocked, a moment of carelessness allowed more than 10 evil spirits to pounce on them and bite them crazily. Immediately, 7 or 8 ancient fiends were bitten to death, and all their soul powers were torn apart. These ancient fiends let out shrill screams like pigs being slaughtered, but there was nothing they could do. They could only watch helplessly as they were bitten to death by the evil spirits. The pain was simply indescribable with words. I said we can't fight them. These evil spirits can't be killed. Hurry up and run. Chapter 2579. Aldrich, have you gone mad? Why are you causing trouble here? Even if you want to die, don't drag us down with you. An ancient devil from the hell of Karloth was both shocked and angry. It had never thought that the bastard it thought was dead would cause trouble at this critical moment. Looking at the bastard, it was obvious that he wanted to drag them down with him. Immediately, the ancient devils were shocked and angry. They wanted to kill the bastard and tear him to pieces. I'm afraid I can't. You all want me dead, so how can I let you live? No matter what, let us die here together. Didn't you want to kill me for a long time? This is a great opportunity. Xiaoping was calm and composed. He stood with his hands behind his back, not moving at all. His powerful space-time domain simply froze all the time and space around him. It was unprecedentedly powerful. At this moment, he was like Gaia, invincible among those of the same level. He could also challenge those of a higher level. Although he might not be able to kill an ancient era's demon, it would still be a piece of cake for him to stop them for a short period of time. What? When the devils heard this, they almost died of anger. My God! How could there be such a lowly devil in the world? He doesn't want to live, but he wants us to die too. Break this space-time domain, break it, kill this lowly devil and tear him to pieces. He wants to drag us down with him? Dream on! Shouted the rock devil. It regretted it so much that its intestines turned green. If it had known that this would happen, it would have killed this abominable devil and torn him to pieces. Then it wouldn't have been stopped by this lunatic at the critical moment. Originally, if they had run away, they would have had a chance to escape from the evil spirits. But now that they were stopped, they had lost most of their chances. It was imaginable how angry it was. It wanted to tear this bastard into pieces. Dong dong dong. The ancient devil said nothing and tried to use the creation domain. An enormous amount of hell's original power surged out of their bodies and bombarded the space-time domain around them. However, it was useless. Their power was unable to shake this space-time domain in a short period of time. It was as if they had bombarded the world barrier. Gaia's power far surpassed these demons. Damn it, this won't do. I can't break through this space-time domain at all. Just what kind of demon is this bastard? How can he be so powerful? An ancient demon couldn't help but shriek in disbelief. With so many ancient demons attacking at the same time, even an ancient demon's domain of creation of the same level could be easily torn apart. However, they were actually unable to tear apart this ancient demon's space-time domain. It was hard for them to believe. You're not Aldrich. You're definitely not Aldrich. The real Aldrich's space-time domain wouldn't be this powerful. Where did you come from? What demon are you? Shouted an ancient fiend devil from the hell of Karloth. It had fought Aldrich many times, and was very familiar with the true power of Aldrich. This power was completely different from the essence of hell. It emanated an unfathomable aura, as if it were an entire world. There was nothing it couldn't contain, and it wasn't something that Aldrich could possess. You're really smart. I'm not Aldrich. I killed the real Aldrich a long time ago. My name is, well, you can call me Fengdu. Xiaoping didn't find it strange that the ancient demon had been able to discover him. After all, it was impossible to hide his power. The only reason he had been able to do so was because he had only attacked for a short period of time. But in a head-on fight like this, any ancient demon would be able to tell that something was fishy. After all, the appearance and aura of a demon could be imitated, but the essence of their power couldn't be imitated. In any case, these ancient demons were going to die here, so he didn't mind revealing his identity. Damn it! This bastard is Fengdu. The ancient demons from the hell of Karloff were both shocked and furious. They felt as if a huge conspiracy had been brewing in the hell of Karloff, and were plotting to destroy their foundation. But the rock golem and the other ancient demons didn't feel anything. To them, the identity of the other party didn't matter. It didn't matter if it was Aldrich or some other ancient demon. They didn't know him. They just wanted to get out of this godforsaken place. And yet, this shameless ancient demon wanted to drag them down with him. The mere thought of that caused their hatred for Xiaoping to deepen. They wanted nothing more than to kill him. But then again, they fell right into Xiaoping's trap. Whoosh! A vast and invisible power of misfortune emanated from Xiaoping's body, and quickly enveloped the bodies of these demons, increasing the aura of misfortune on their bodies, and their appearance of death. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Right at this moment, the void distorted, and a black hole appeared. In the distance, another 20 to 30 evil spirits appeared. They seemed to have been drawn over by the power of misfortune, and fell into this place. We're finished. We're completely finished. Seeing this scene, the faces of the rock golem and the other demons turned green, completely green. Just a dozen or so evil ghosts would have been enough to inflict heavy casualties on them. But now there were 20 or 30 of them. Adding that to the ones from before, there were now more than 40 of them. How were they supposed to fight this? Even if an ancient demon appeared here, it wouldn't bode well for them. I'm going to kill you, Fengdu. The rock golem roared. Even if it died today, it would drag Fiend Fengdu down with it into the depths of the yellow springs of the 9 serenities. Bang! Chapter 2580. Run, hurry up and run. We can't stay here any longer. No, we can't escape at all. There are too many evil spirits. Let's fight it out with these evil spirits. Even if we die, we'll drag one of them down with us. Damn you, Fengdu. Even if I die, I won't let you off. This bastard is harming the demons and himself. The demons were panic-stricken and terrified. All of them fled in all directions, but under Xiaoping's space-time domain, their movements were as slow as snails. Even if they wanted to break through space, they couldn't do it. These evil spirits seemed to be born with the ability to travel through space. They were silent and extremely fast. In an instant, they pounced on the demons and tore at them. Crack, crack in the next second, under Xiaoping's gaze, all the ancient demons' souls were torn apart by the evil spirits. None of them could escape and all of them died. The corpses of the powerful ancient demons fell to the ground. Their eyes were empty, and their corpses were intact. However, their souls had disappeared, leaving behind only empty shells. The power of misfortune. Xiaoping stood where he was. After he sensed that all the demons had died, the power of misfortune attached to the demons had returned to his body. Because of this, the death of these demons seemed to have greatly strengthened the power of misfortune, turning him into a vortex of misfortune. The power in his body was further strengthened. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. In an instant, the remaining dozens of evil spirits stared at Xiaoping. They seemed to only notice Xiaoping at this moment, and all of them treated him as the most delicious food. They could sense the extremely tyrannical soul aura on Xiaoping's body. To them, this was the most delicious dessert. Roar! The evil spirits instantly pounced on him, carrying with them the terrifying power of evil spirits. It seemed to contain the aura of the yellow springs, which froze the space-time laws and everything. Interesting. Xiaoping raised his eyebrows. He finally understood why the demons' movements had been hesitant for a moment when they were targeted by the evil spirits. It turned out that the evil spirits could emit a special aura of the yellow springs. This aura of the yellow springs was like the power of extreme heat and extreme cold. It could even easily freeze space-time. And it even targeted the soul, seeping into the depths of the soul. Therefore, when these demons came into contact with the wisps of yellow springs aura, they could not help but shiver. Their bodies would also freeze for a moment, and in the end, they would be killed by the evil spirits. Crash! The aura of the yellow springs on the bodies of dozens of evil spirits spread out at the same time, seemingly freezing the area within a radius of hundreds of thousands of kilometers. The ground let out cracking sounds, and a white layer of ice that was visible to the naked eye rapidly spread out. Come here. Xiaoping did not feel the slightest bit of fear in his heart. Instead, he revealed a faint smile. With a thought, his powerful Gaia domain instantly spread out from his body, enveloping a radius of tens of thousands of light years. Rumble! In an instant, these evil spirits pounced on Xiaoping and tried to bite him. But in the next second, they were immediately enveloped by the space-time power of the Gaia space and instantly teleported into the Gaia space. This was also his internal space. Sure enough, this Gaia space can trap these evil spirits. Xiaoping smiled. He could sense dozens of wraiths entering the Gaia space. This was a world of darkness and nothingness, filled with curses, corrosion, and other dark forces. It was like an abyss. If ordinary life forms were to enter, they would probably be completely corroded within a few breaths, leaving nothing behind. But when these evil spirits entered, it was as if they had returned to their own world. Every breath they took was able to engulf a large amount of hell's origin power. Moreover, these evil spirits tried to use their innate magical powers to leave this strange place. But no matter how they tried, they could not break through the restraints of the Gaia space. They could only wander around in the Gaia space, unable to see the end of this space. I really succeeded. To be honest, Xiaoping only wanted to try to trap these terrifying evil spirits, but he did not expect to actually succeed. With the special world laws of the Gaia space, he easily sealed these evil spirits in his internal space. This was the tyrannical power of Gaia. Even if he encountered an opponent he could not defeat, he could imprison the enemy in his internal space world. Even if the enemy's strength exceeded his by 2 levels, he would not be able to easily break free. This was the case for all wise sages. Evil spirits without any intelligence would probably not know where they were after being imprisoned in the Gaia space. Perhaps they would still think that they were in the ruins of the demon god. Of course, this was only an attempt. After all, this was only an avatar. Even if he failed, he would only lose an avatar. It was not a big deal. Fortunately, he had succeeded. It seems to be able to refine these evil spirits. Xiaoping's heart stirred. At the same time, he realized that the Gaia space in his body seemed to have undergone an incredible change. Wisps of special power appeared and permeated every corner of the void. And this power seemed to be slowly devouring and refining these evil spirits. Once the power of these evil spirits was completely devoured, his Gaia avatar's power would probably skyrocket. If I can imprison these fiend spawn and evil spirits in the Gaia space, I wonder what changes will happen to the Gaia space. Xiaoping stroked his chin. He suddenly felt that the demon god's ruins were not as terrifying as he imagined. The power of his Gaia space seemed to be able to restrain these fiend spawn and evil spirits. It could be said that the Gaia space in his body was like a hell cage. It specialized in dealing with these terrifying undying monsters from the depths of hell. Whoosh, thinking of this, Xiaoping waved his hand and immediately stored away the corpses of the ancient demons that had died. After all, the corpses of the ancient demons were excellent fertilizer for the world tree. He could not give them up easily. These ancient demons are quite wealthy. Xiaoping also found interspatial rings on the ancient demons. They contained most of the ancient demons' treasures. Among them was the Hell Source Stone, the hard currency of the Green Lotus Hell. It had to be said that these ancient demons were indeed wealthy. He found more than 1,000,000 Hell Source stones in the interspatial rings alone. Each Hell Source stone contained rich Hell's origin power. Horses don't get fat without night grass. People don't get rich without a windfall. Xiaoping happily kept all the treasures for himself. Previously, he had been thinking of ways to earn a large number of Hell Source stones. He never expected to find more than 1,000,000 Hell Source stones on the ancient demons. Apart from the Hell Source stones, the interspatial rings also contained many precious ores and treasures from Hell. Every one of them was worth a fortune. Chapter 2581. Whoosh. After plundering these treasures, Xiaoping left the lookout and flew toward other parts of the city. After all, he wanted to see what secrets this city contained. In any case, this was a city left behind from the demon god era, so it must be extraordinary. Interesting. Xiaoping walked on one of the main streets of this city. This street was full of potholes and dilapidated, as if it had experienced an earth-shattering battle. There were also incomparably tall buildings all around, but they had all collapsed at this moment. Moreover, the materials of these buildings were extremely hard, containing rich energy of Hell's origin. Even ordinary sages could not leave many marks on them. Good treasures. Xiaoping drooled as he looked at the materials of these buildings. These building materials were just waste for demons, and they could not be used at all. But for him, they were the best materials in the world. If the materials that even sages could not leave a mark on them appeared in the real universe, who knew how many people would go crazy over them? They were definitely priceless. System, what are the materials used to build these buildings? Why are they so hard? Xiaoping asked the system. To be honest, even the experienced and knowledgeable Green Ox and Corinne did not know what these materials from Hell were. After all, these materials had never appeared in the present world, so how could they recognize them? Only the all-powerful system might know what these things were. Host, these are agate magic essence stones. In the demon god era, these were materials that could be seen everywhere. They were specially used to build buildings. They were extremely hard, and they could also greatly weaken the impact force. Even invincible sages would find it difficult to destroy them. Many demon gods collected these materials and built huge city walls to fight against the armies of other demon gods. The system said. But after Hell was broken, these materials became extremely rare treasures. Hell could no longer produce such materials, and they are very valuable. Sure enough, they are treasures. Hearing this, Xiaoping's eyes suddenly lit up. In the demon god era, any stone on the street was very valuable. For the people of this era, they were unimaginable treasures. Just like people in the age of chaos, if they came to the primeval age, it was estimated that even a weed on the road would contain spiritual energy that the cultivators of the age of chaos could not imagine. It was the same principle. Since they could become the main building materials of the demon god era, their hardness could be imagined. Plunder, plunder everything. Xia Ping waved his hand and collected all the broken agate demon essence stones on the ground. He planned to refine these agate demon essence stones and build magnificent palaces in the world of the classic of mountains and seas. At that time, no one would be able to break into his palace. Moreover, these materials could also be used to refine many powerful magic treasures, so they definitely possessed astonishing value. For the next few days, Xia Ping scoured the city for materials. All the broken stones that fell to the ground were collected into his Gaia space. Anyway, his Gaia space was very large. It was more than enough to store the entire city. To be honest, if he could, he wished he could move all the buildings in this city. Regardless of whether they were useful or not, he would plunder them all. However, it was a pity that these buildings seemed to be solidified by a special power. The entire city was condensed into one, containing a terrifying and undying strange power. Even if he used all his strength, he would not be able to destroy the buildings. Perhaps if his hell avatar came to this place, he could use the infernal golden crow flames to incinerate it. But with the power of the Gaia avatar, he would not be able to do anything. In the end, he could only give up on his crazy plan of emptying the entire city. He could only search the streets for rubble and materials that had appeared due to the battle. If the other demons saw Xia Ping like this, they would definitely be dumbfounded. This guy had simply plundered this city cleaner than his face. He didn't even let go of anything of value. He wasn't so fierce, even if he plucked feathers from wild geese. However, while Xia Ping was plundering the city's treasures, he was also attacked by evil spirits. There were more of them than on the first day, at least 200 to 300 of them. These evil spirits were attracted by the power of misfortune on his body. Otherwise, there would not be so many of them. However, these evil spirits were naturally all sealed by the Gaia space on his body. The evil spirits were foolishly sealed in the Gaia space, unable to come out. As for those evildoers, he did not see a single one. Perhaps the evildoers in this city had long been killed by the demons, leaving not a single one behind. This saved him a lot of effort. Damn it, I didn't find any other treasures. After plundering all the rubble and materials, Xia Ping realized that he could not find any other treasures in this city. There was not even a single useful item. In fact, this was very normal. After all, this demon god's ruins had been discovered by the Green Lotus Hell for God knows how many years. Every year, countless demons would enter it to plunder the treasures. This city was also the first stop for countless demons who entered the demon god's ruins. Therefore, the extent of the plundering of this city was imaginable. Apart from the rubble on the ground that the demons did not care about, the other valuable treasures must have been taken by the demons. Why would there be any left behind? If he wanted to search for treasures, he would probably have to go to other cities that had not been explored much. What is this feeling? Suddenly, Xia Ping felt the hell spear and morning staff on his body vibrate slightly. It was as though dense hellish runes appeared on their bodies, as well as rich hellish power source. He realized that somewhere in this city, there seemed to be something that was resonating with the two hellish magic treasures. If not for his sharp senses, he would definitely not have noticed it. Swoosh! Xia Ping's figure flashed, and immediately followed the guidance of the hell spear and morning staff. He followed the strange hellish power that was transmitted from afar at an extremely fast speed. It did not take long before he arrived at the foot of the city. This place had long been in ruins. There were potholes everywhere, and soil was splattered everywhere. The surroundings were filled with thick demonic aura. Xia Ping's eyes lit up. He could sense that there seemed to be a mysterious power, summoning him hundreds of meters underground, resonating with the hellish magic treasures on him. Could it be that there was a hellish magic treasure hidden in this place? Thinking of this, he did not hesitate, and immediately began to dig the soil. He quickly dug out hundreds of meters of soil, and dug out a super large pit. He immediately knew that the yin-yang soul locking chain, the hell spear, and the morning staff were of the same level. They were all exclusive weapons of the Hell prison guards. It could be said that the reason why the infernal prison guards were able to restrain the countless creatures in Hell was because of these treasures. However, under normal circumstances, ordinary infernal wardens couldn't possess 3 infernal treasures at the same time. Basically, they could only possess one. Some specialized in capturing enemies, some specialized in combat, and some were auxiliary. Each had their own role. Only prison guards of captain rank, and above, were qualified to possess 3 hellish magic treasures at the same time. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. All of a sudden, more than 10 powerful figures flew over from the distance. All of them were demons that had reached the immemorial ancient state level. As though they had sensed something, they flew over to this place. In an instant, more than 10 ancient demons surrounded Xiaoping. Haha, when I returned to this city just now, I had a feeling that there might be a treasure being born here. Now that I'm back to take a look, it's indeed so. This item is fated with me. One of the ancient demons laughed out loud in excitement. Its eyes shone brightly as it stared at the yin-yang soul-locking chain in Xiaoping's hands. Based on its sharp eyes, it could naturally tell that this was a powerful infernal treasure. Boss lives up to his name, the famous prophet demon. You can predict the future and explore countless mysteries. With Boss by our side, all of us can turn calamities into blessings, avoid calamities, and obtain large amounts of treasures. Another ancient demon was sucking up to Xiaoping. The prophet demon was a famous special demon among the demons. It seemed to have the innate ability to peek into fate and predict the future. Usually, such demons would eventually become extremely powerful demons, turning calamities into blessings every time they did something. Such an ability was envied by other demons. Of course, this ability wasn't without limits. If it was a creature that far exceeded its own strength, or an object or creature that wasn't in the river of fate, this ability couldn't be used, and it couldn't see the danger. Because of this, even though this prophet demon was extremely arrogant, it was still very careful. Otherwise, if it was careless, it might fall into the path of fate. Boss, if I'm not wrong, this should be the infernal prison guard's treasure, the yin-yang soul-locking chain. An ancient fiend's eyes shone. This magic treasure is extraordinary. It can capture and trap enemies, and its body is indestructible. It can even challenge those of higher realms. In fact, this magic treasure is the nemesis of wraiths, nether ghosts, and other spirit-type creatures. If we can obtain this infernal treasure, I'm afraid we can run amok in the demon god Hell. Even if we face an ancient demon, with the help of this treasure, it's not like we can't have the upper hand. This is simply our great luck. It was extremely excited, obviously recognizing the origin of the yin-yang soul-locking chain. No way, this treasure has such a great origin. It's an infernal prison guard's treasure. No wonder it has such a shocking origin. It's said that the number of demons in the Hell of Green Lotus, who have this kind of infernal treasure, can be counted on one hand. Even invincible realm demons don't have it. Indeed, the heavens are looking after the boss. Isn't that right? This city has long been plundered by other demons countless times. After so many years, there shouldn't be any magic treasures left. But now one has been forcefully excavated. If this isn't the blessing of the heavens, then what is it? The ancient demons discussed, and they were also amazed. According to their experience, they naturally knew how precious this infernal treasure was. If it was leaked, it would probably cause a commotion in the entire Hell of Green Lotus. Perhaps even invincible realm demons would shamelessly come to ask for it. Little devil, hand over the infernal treasure you have, and we can spare your life. At this time, an ancient demon shouted as it looked down at Xiaoping. It was as if sparing Xiaoping's life was already a great favor. It did not place Xiaoping in its eyes at all. Chapter 2583. Interesting. I can use you to measure the power of this hell magic treasure. Xiaoping touched his chin and looked at the group of ancient demons with no expression. Ha! In an instant the prophet's devil's face changed. It seemed to perceive some scenes of the future, but when it wanted to see what it wanted to see, The scene was instantly strangled by an inexplicable and powerful force of fate. It couldn't even see the image of the scene. This was the first time something like this had happened. But it could sense that the mysterious demon in front of it was very dangerous, extremely dangerous, and not an ordinary demon. But before the prophet's devil could say anything, Xiaoping made his move. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. In an instant the hell magic treasure, the yin-yang soul-locking chain, moved quickly under Xiaoping's control. It was divided into two chains, yin and yang, showing black and white. The two chains seemed to turn into two black and white dragons, easily merging into the void, and springing out from another part of the void. In just a few breaths, the chain seemed to have penetrated hundreds of thousands of kilometers, turning into a huge cage, emitting the power of the realm, covering everything. Soul-locking and soul-piercing. Xiaoping was expressionless. He operated the huge magic power in his body to control the hell magic treasure. Not good retreat. The prophet's devil's face changed dramatically. It seemed to sense great danger, as if death was coming. It felt that facing this mysterious demon was like facing an evil spirit or a devil. Even the demon in front of it was more terrifying than the evil spirit or the devil. After all, the evil spirit and the devil had no wisdom and acted purely by instinct. As long as it could understand the movement patterns of these two creatures, they would not have to be afraid and could easily avoid it. But it was different for the demons with wisdom. Ordinary means could not be hidden from them. But it was too late now. The speed of the yin-yang soul-locking chain was far beyond the imagination of these demons. It was like lightning, shuttling through the void, shooting silently in an instant. With a bang, an ancient demon was caught off guard. Its chest was penetrated by the yin-yang soul-locking chain from the inside out, and a large amount of blood flew out from the wound. If it was just a physical injury, it was nothing for the extremely powerful demons. Even if the heart was pierced, it would not die easily and could be resurrected. But things were different now. After the ancient demon was pierced by the yin-yang soul-locking chains, the chains actually pierced through its entire body. Even its soul seemed to have been hooked out by the yin-yang soul-locking chains. Its entire soul body was like a barbecue skewer. It was pierced through and hung on the yin-yang soul-locking chains. At the same time, the yin-yang soul-locking chain began to float up and cover the ancient demon's soul body. It seemed as if hundreds and thousands of hell's characters had condensed into chains and bound the soul body in an instant. The power in its body was completely sealed, and not a single bit of it leaked out. Even if it wanted to struggle free from the yin-yang soul-locking chains, it would be impossible. Damn bastard, let's fight it out with this guy. 2 fists are no match for 4 hands. I don't believe this guy is so strong. Brat, what you've done has completely enraged us. We've completely enraged us. We'll let you know what it means to be unable to live or die. Go capture this brat and tear him to pieces. The numerous ancient demons were seething with killing intent, and their creation domains erupted at the same time. Rumble. In an instant, one creation domain after another came crashing down, distorting the space-time. The enormous creation chi filled the air, pervasive, and seemed to change the material structure of this space-time. This power seemed to want to completely suppress Xiaoping. Penetrate. Xiaoping didn't even look at it, and once again activated the yin-yang soul-locking chains. Instantly, the power of the chains increased explosively, and it seemed to become transparent, merging into the depths of the void. Xiao xiao xiao. Instantly, the yin-yang soul-locking chains hid in the depths of the void, and the creation domains couldn't restrain it at all. It shuttled through the depths of the space-time, invisible, colorless, and odorless. It was like a transparent, poisonous snake, waiting for an opportunity to strike. Dong! At this moment, 3 or 4 ancient demons were caught off guard, and the yin-yang soul-locking chains shot through the void behind them, piercing through their bodies in an instant. Ah! The 3 or 4 ancient demons immediately let out shrill cries, like pigs being slaughtered. They didn't feel the aura of the yin-yang soul-locking chains at all, and it seemed as if they were about to attack in an instant. Before they could react, their bodies were pierced through, and even their souls seemed to have been hooked out by the yin-yang soul-locking chains' power. Originally, these ancient demons couldn't use the powerful creation domain's power. It seemed that the yin-yang soul-locking chains itself was a treasure that restrained these ancient demons. Against this treasure, they couldn't even use 50% of their power. Damn bastard, you're seeking your own death. One of the ancient demons roared. It seemed that Xiaoping's actions had angered them even more, and a huge amount of evil qi burst out without any concealment. Thousand-year fiend slaughter fist. Instantly, an ancient demon punched out. This punch distorted the space-time, and a terrifying murderous aura burst out, as if it contained the history of 1,000 years. Countless nobles and generals were annihilated by the power of space-time, and all living things couldn't escape death. Vaguely, this punch was filled with the power to destroy space-time, and it almost reached the peak of the ancient demon's destructive power. It was enough to destroy a small world with one punch. Claw of 5 thunder blasting top. Next to him, another purple ancient demon attacked with its claw. At the same time, the tyrannical thunder source power in its body burst out, and a terrifying purple claw smashed down. Immediately, the destructive power of 5 bolts of lightning smashed down, seemingly forming a lightning prison. The 5 bolts of lightning struck down, destroying everything in their path, causing countless demons to shiver in fear. To demons that possessed the demonic energy, this was simply the greatest nemesis. All inattributed demonic qi would vanish in the face of this power of lightning. This claw attacked with the power of 5 thunders, and it seemed that even the barrier of the world couldn't resist it. It was as if the heavenly wrath was descending. Violent yin wind cut. Another ancient demon, that looked like a praying mantis, attacked. Its hand turned into a peerless sharp blade, and it was not inferior to any demonic sword. It slashed down with its blade, and it emitted a terrifying bone-chilling power. Moreover, the saber qi tore the space-time, as if it was going to split the space-time in half. It was indestructible. When this blade came down, it seemed to freeze the soul space-time yin and yang. Even ancient demons of the same level couldn't withstand this earth-shattering blade, and they would be killed on the spot. Whoosh, one by one, the ancient demons displayed their unique skills, bloodline magic, and they were simply risking their lives. Chapter 2584. Peerless Divine Power, Alternation of Seasons. Sensing that so many ancient demons were attacking, Xiaoping also attacked. He activated the Gaia powers in his body, and threw a punch at the ancient demons. Boom! In an instant, time and space within a radius of billions of miles was distorted by this punch. It seemed to have transformed into the 4 seasons of spring, summer, autumn, and winter. The power of the 4 seasons turned into a wheel of time and space, constantly rotating and alternating. Suddenly, a huge wheel of time and space came crashing down, destroying the heaven and earth. It seemed to turn all matter into chaos. Bang bang bang. Immediately, the power of the remaining 7 or 8 ancient demons came crashing down and bombarded the wheel of the alternation of seasons. Immediately, there was an earth-shattering sound. What? The pupils of the ancient demons constricted. They felt that when their powers bombarded the wheel of time and space, all the power seemed to be completely obliterated by the power of reincarnation. No matter what power it was, as long as it approached the reincarnation millstone, it seemed to turn into chaos and cease to exist. Everything returned to nothingness. They felt that the power of reincarnation seemed to be close to the essence of hell, and contained unimaginable mysteries. Curse of the Deva Decay. With a thought, Xiaoping activated the Gaia powers in his body, the curse of another divine power in his body. Immediately, the curse of his body spread out, and seemed to transform into countless black, twisted runes. Like earthworms, they merged into the void and bombarded the ancient demons. Vaguely, the black, twisted runes seemed to transform into black skulls, emitting dark, evil, corrosive, curse, and other powers. It was chilling. Deep in the void, there seemed to be a mysterious voice. Your eye is my eye. Your hand is my hand. Your head is my head. Your body is my body. Everything will return to dust. All matter will face dusk. All life will wither. In just a breath's time, the black, twisted runes seemed to transform into black smoke, and instantly entered the bodies of the remaining 7 or 8 ancient demons. In the next second, the ancient demons could not help but scream in fear, because they realized that their bodies, which were originally immortal, were now decaying. From their eyes, mouth, ears, and nostrils, black, stinky, rotten, and other unknown substances flowed out. Their bodies also give off a horrible stench. Their hands, feet, heads, torsos, and other parts of their bodies had rotted away. It was as if they had been rotting for thousands of years. What was even more frightening was that their souls seemed to be in the process of constantly deteriorating. Their strength was declining step by step, as if they were entering their twilight years. Why is this happening? How could my body and soul have decayed? How is this possible? My power is declining rapidly. Damn it, what did you do to us? Many of the ancient demons were terrified. They widened their eyes and looked at Xia Ping in disbelief. They had no idea what was happening to their bodies. But no matter how he thought about it, it had to be this strange and terrifying demon in front of him who would do such a thing. Curse. This is the curse of hell. The power of this curse is stealing our deathless energy, turning us into mortals. At this time, the prophet devil could not help but scream in fear. Hurry up and kill this demon. This power is almost irreversible. If we don't kill it, the power of the curse will not stop. Even if we escape to the ends of the earth, we will still die. He could feel the horror of this power, which was far beyond any demon he had ever seen. In terms of power, this strange demon in front of him was not the strongest. It could not compare to those demons who had reached the invincible realm, and even the ancient demons could not compare. But in terms of strangeness, this demon simply surpassed any demon he had ever seen. It made him shudder. It seemed that even the power of fate could not bind this demon in front of him. If they lost their eternal life because of this curse, perhaps there was nothing more miserable in the world than this. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. When the 7 or 8 ancient demons heard this, they did not hesitate at all. They immediately wanted to attack at the same time and completely kill Xia Ping, the culprit, and cut him into pieces. But how could Xia Ping give them such a chance? He used the power of the curse to make these ancient demons fall into an extremely weak state. Next, he moved his mind and controlled the hell magic treasure, the yin-yang soul-locking chain. Whoosh! Whoosh! In an instant, the black and white yin-yang soul-locking chain blasted out at the same time, like 2 black and white flood dragons, attacking in all directions. Originally, these ancient demons could not resist the power of the yin-yang soul-locking chain. Now their bodies and souls were strongly cursed, and fell into an unprecedented state of weakness. At this moment, how could they resist the power of this hell magic treasure? Rumble! In just a moment, these 7 or 8 ancient demons, including the prophet devil, were instantly penetrated by the yin-yang soul-locking chain, and blood splashed everywhere. The prophet devil and the other ancient demons stared with their eyes wide open, and blood seeped from the corners of their mouths. It seemed that this blow not only penetrated their bodies, but also their souls. In the face of this blow, they did not even have the power to resist. With a clatter, these ancient demons fell to the ground dead. And the souls of these ancient demons seemed to be completely swallowed by the yin-yang soul-locking chain, as if they had turned into a soul and integrated into the yin-yang soul-locking chain. At this point, all the ancient demons had been killed by him, and not a single one was left. Gaia's curse is really terrifying. It seems to be a bit similar to the power of the cursed black coffin. Although it is far inferior, it has a trace of embryonic form. Xia Ping was amazed. In the beginning, he only wanted to try the power of Gaia's curse, but he did not expect that this power was beyond his imagination. He did not expect that it could cause such damage to these ancient demons. Just a little bit of the power of the curse had actually caused these ancient demons to fall into the Angel 5 decay, and their immortal substance was stripped clean, and they were facing death. Of course, this power of the curse really consumed too much of the power of the soul. Although he had only used it for a short period of time, it had consumed almost 1/3 of his Gaia avatar's soul power. If his soul power was exhausted, it was estimated that his Gaia avatar would collapse. Moreover, if he wanted to recover his soul power, it would take a long time without the help of external objects. It seems that although this power is terrifying, it can still be used easily. It is really the 7 injuries fist, hurting others and myself. Xiaoping squinted his eyes. Chapter 2585. Crash. Xiaoping made a grabbing motion, and immediately collected all the corpses of the ancient demons. The corpses of these ancient demons were also treasures. If the world tree swallowed them, it would definitely produce fruit of creation. This would be of great benefit to his cultivation, so he couldn't waste it. The space rings on the primordial demons were also collected by him. The treasures of the primordial demons now belonged to him. Let's go to other cities. Half a day later, Xiaoping searched the city again, but he didn't find any treasures. Indeed, he didn't miss anything. He decided to leave the city and go to other places, especially some cities that hadn't been excavated by the demons. There must be many secrets of the demon god's ruins hidden there. However, when Xiaoping arrived at the edge of the city, he found that the entire city seemed to be surrounded by a mass of chaotic air. There were chaotic walls all around, making it almost impossible to go out and outsiders couldn't enter. The only way to leave the city was through a series of ancient bridges. Bridge of Helplessness. Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. He knew that the demons called these bridges Bridge of Helplessness. They were bridges that traversed every corner of hell, and were the main transportation routes. It was said that in the demon god's era, the Yellow Springs River traversed every corner of hell, and divided hell into countless regions. Ordinary demons, and even demon gods couldn't easily cross the Yellow Springs River. Once they fell, they would undoubtedly die. Even demon gods were no exception. In order to solve this problem, some great mediums built huge bridges of helplessness. Evil spirits and demons could pass through the bridges of helplessness and reach every region of hell. It seems that this place really might have been a fragment of hell. It's actually been preserved so well. Xiaoping touched his chin and felt that it was incredible. He came to one of the bridges of helplessness and stared at it. It was densely carved with pictures of demon gods, and at the same time contained countless characters and runes of hell. Even the material of the Bridge of Helplessness was extremely special. It contained the characteristics of immortality and indestructibility. It seemed that even if the power of demon gods bombarded it, it wouldn't be destroyed. It would be great if I could dig up a bridge of helplessness to study. Xiaoping felt that his desire to dig up the bridge was simply restless. He couldn't wait to move the entire bridge away, but he didn't even have the strength to make a crack on the Bridge of Helplessness, let alone move it away. By the way, system, what exactly is the material of this Bridge of Helplessness? Xiaoping could not help but ask. The main material of the Bridge of Helplessness is the Yellow Springs Stone. This is a mystical stone extracted from the depths of the Yellow Springs River. It is immortal and indestructible, and it contains the power of the 6 paths of samsara. Even the power of a demon god cannot destroy it. The system replied. Underworld Stone. Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. This bridge was indeed extraordinary. Just the materials alone were priceless. Moreover, after taking a stroll around the city, he discovered that there was far more than just one bridge of coping. There were at least 100 bridges of coping. These ancient bridges traversed the void, and no one knew where they extended to. Every bridge led to a different city. These bridges were like passageways in the void. However, some bridges had been explored by demons countless times, and some bridges were extremely dangerous. It seemed that on the other side of the passageway was an extremely dangerous city. Because of this, according to the different cities that the bridges led to, they were divided into 4 levels: easy, hard, nightmare, and annihilation. In terms of hard, it was actually easy to understand the degree of danger of this place. Easy meant that the other city that the bridge led to was easy to survive in. Senior ancient demons could enter, but they might not be able to keep their lives. Hard meant that even ancient demons would have a slim chance of survival if they entered. Nightmare meant that even invincible realm demons might not be able to keep their lives if they entered. As for annihilation, it was the most terrifying city. Even invincible realm demons couldn't come back if they entered it. In the past, there were demons who didn't believe in evil in such an annihilation place. They kept entering it, but no matter how many of them went or how many died, they could never come back. Therefore, no one knew where the end of the bridge was. This was a place that countless demons regarded as a taboo. For the first time, I'd better enter the easy bridge. Otherwise, if I die in it, it's really not worth it. Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. If he didn't have a hell magic treasure like the yin-yang soul locking chain, then it wouldn't be a problem for him to go to the hard, or even annihilation places. After all, this was just a doppelganger that could be condensed again at any time. But if he died in it, even the important magic treasure would be lost in it, and the loss would outweigh the gain. Therefore, he decided to enter the easy city this time to see the situation. When his real body came next time, he could send many doppelgangers in to explore. Whoosh! In the next second, Xiaoping found an easy bridge that seemed to be rarely stepped on by demons, and walked over. Dong! In an instant, he stepped on the bridge of helplessness, and immediately felt an earth-shaking change. It was as if he was wrapped in the power of the netherworld, and the stars were moving. In an instant, Xiaoping found himself standing on the bridge of helplessness. Everything behind him disappeared, and there was chaos in front of him. He couldn't see anything at all. Below the bridge of helplessness was a river that traversed the void. It was yellow like the Yellow River. Above the Yellow River, there were horrible and strange evil ghost heads floating. Green flames flashed in the depths of their pupils, and their eyeballs moved gently as if they were still alive. The horrible and strange corpses seemed to be floating on the Yellow River. They seemed to be constantly struggling to climb out of the Yellow River, but they couldn't do anything. It seemed that this Yellow River contained the terrible power of the 6 paths of reincarnation, which pulled these strange corpses and made them sink forever, never to rise again. There was no doubt that this was the famous Yellow River. Save me, little devil. Save me, and you will definitely get great benefits. Save me. I have a shocking inheritance. If I get it, I will definitely become a demon god. I have a powerful divine weapon. If I get it, I can sweep the world and become invincible in hell. Pull me up quickly, and I will give you this treasure. When Xiaoping crossed the bridge of helplessness, the countless evil ghost skulls and bizarre corpses on the Yellow Springs River seemed to come to life. They flickered with green ghostly flames and roared madly. It was as if millions of vengeful souls were howling and howling. They felt Xiaoping's aura, and seemed to be completely alarmed. They all roared. Chapter 2586. Xiaoping stood on the bridge of helplessness, and heard billions of evil spirits roaring under the bridge. All of them seemed to be shaking and shrieking, and a strange mental power spread out from the depths of the void. Vaguely, this strange and powerful soul power instantly enveloped his body. It seemed to distort the spiritual space, and produce a powerful bewitching power. This power seemed to want to pull him into the Yellow Spring. It was not as simple as just enveloping his body. Hearing this sound, Xiaoping felt that the emotions in the depths of his heart seemed to be triggered. Emotions such as joy, anger, sorrow, and joy surged, and the memories in his heart seemed to be flowing in the depths of his sea of consciousness. At this moment, the emotions in his mind were rapidly magnified under this power. It seemed that the darkness in the depths of his heart was also expanding crazily, as if he was about to fall into the darkness and sink into the abyss. Rumble. However, when this mental power tried to invade his sea of consciousness, it was instantly sent flying by the soul power in his body. All the mental force field was torn and shattered. All the negative emotions were swept away, and a light appeared in the depths of his sea of consciousness. In an instant, the endless darkness was torn apart, and all the negative forces were expelled. His spirit was roused by this. You want to bewitch me? Xiaoping's eyes glowed. The evil spirits in the Yellow Spring River were all roaring, and using their special mental power to try to pull him off the bridge of helplessness. However, at this moment, these powers could no longer affect him. He only heard billions of evil spirits roaring and screaming in the depths of the Yellow Spring River, emitting endless resentment, hatred, and anger. Obviously, if he was affected by the power of these evil spirits, he would fall from the bridge of helplessness and eventually become one of these evil spirits. Xiaoping originally wanted to leave the bridge of helplessness as soon as possible to avoid being affected by this strange power of evil spirits. However, he seemed to have understood something from the roars of these evil spirits. Vaguely in his eyes, it seemed that the bodies of these evil spirits were like strange runes of hell, and their voices also seemed to have become notes of hell. It was these strange notes of hell that had such a bewitching power. If a demon god was caught off guard, he would probably be bewitched by these evil spirits and be pulled down. Interesting. At this moment, Xiaoping seemed to be in a state of epiphany. He had once cultivated some sacred arts that were related to sound, such as the 7 Fiend True Dragon Roar, Soul Shriek, Heavenly Dragon 8 Music, and Heavenly Epic. It could be said that these were all top-notch sound wave divine abilities that contained the essence of sound wave power. Even if we stayed in the Yellow Springs River for billions of years, the water still couldn't purify us. What kind of power is this? Damn it, where did this brat come from? Quick retreat. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Seeing this, many evil spirits of the Yellow Springs screamed in fear. They originally thought that the brat on the bridge of helplessness would be like the other demons, easily charmed by them. They also wanted to pull this guy down and make him a member of their Yellow Springs. But what happened now was far beyond their imagination. This brat had unimaginable power. With just one movement, he had purified all the evil spirits on the Yellow Springs River, expelling all the dark energy. To be honest, this was simply unimaginable. After billions of eras, they had never seen such a thing. But they were the most evil and filthy things. They were even more corrosive than the demons in the abyss. They were extremely selfish and self-centered. How could they be willing to be purified and become an existence of nothingness? If they were purified, they would truly be finished. They would die in the Yellow Springs River, and there would be no chance for them to escape. Walala, thinking of this, the evil spirits under the bridge of helplessness were so scared that they fled in all directions. They desperately ran away, trying to escape from that terrifying and strange guy. In just a short while the place was cleared. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support. And don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.